Mm-hmm.
Certainly other tickets get in our hands. Could you imagine if we got crown seats again and you took a date to that?
That's a high bar right away. I mean, if you take a first date to Crown Club seats, then you're setting the bar way too high right away, assuming that it's somebody you want to continue to go on a date with.
Capitol Grill or something.
Now,
right?
if it's just for all in good fun and you're just going on a date to go on a date and whatever. But if you're actually going on a date and you're thinking it's the start of a relationship, then yeah, the bar is set way to the next time you have even Diamond Club tickets, not gonna be good enough for her.
I think you would just say, "This is not common. Let it be known. This is not the normal way that I operate."
The worst thing for me, honestly, would be because you guys, if it was Crown Club, and then we'll get into the game. If it was Crown Club and you were low enough and it was on TV, you guys would be analyzing. You and Drew would be watching the game and analyzing every little conversation, laugh, or whatever, and it would be terrible for me the next day.
Oh yeah, because there was the time I sat
terrible for me the next day.
The time I sat Crown Club with my brother, and you guys were like, "Look like you were holding court."
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm not kidding. If I saw you on Crown Club, I would legitimately count how many seconds you talked versus her.
I know you would.
We'd come into the show the next day and I'd have stats.
I know
Drew,
you would.
I'd be like, looks like based on the time we saw you on camera, Alex talked for 2 minutes, 37 seconds, and she talked for 4 minutes, 10. I don't know what's going on here. I would immediately how we would count it. Now, look, the Royals, we're not going to spend time talking about the individual game. Bullpen blew it. Offense didn't look all that exciting.
Well, they wasted another Michael Wacha start. He continues to be phenomenal. He's having a great year in an otherwise very, very frustrating season for the Royals and disappointing year. Michael Wacha has been sensational. And if he keeps this up and the team keeps up their side of it as well, we will be having an interesting conversation closer to the trade deadline, I think, because he will be somebody that's valuable for other teams. But that's they got a couple years of control left, and I don't know if he's somebody you would actually want to part ways with, because you start to look at the future a little bit, and guys that are already not going to be back in the rotation next year, most likely. Chris Bubich, for example, he's on a contract expires at the end of this year, and so can you afford to even move on from him? But I'll tell you what, man, is this the low water mark? 10 under 500. I mean, I don't think it is.
Oh, do you mean, is it? Can they go deep?
Yeah.
Deeper into the crevasse?
10 under 500, and they're 50 games in. They're 30 and 50. And we were looking up some odds on win totals and stuff like that. They are still minus, 334 to get to 70 or more wins.
So they still think
they're
going to
pacing for what?
64. They are pacing to be a 98 loss team as it sits right now. A lot of it, you know what it was? Is like you mentioned Wacha and some of the other trade deadline. I was thinking about how this has an impact on the long-term future of guys that just signed contracts that are like extensions, but not really, right? They're just buying out arbitration years, Vinny Pasquantino, Michael Garcia, and you're like, does this do something for them? Because the Royals' only solution to get out of this is wait a couple of years until their entire minor league system is up, or just hope players are better, or maybe spend more money than they've ever spent in free agency next year. And so, it's like, if I look at the Royals' contracts right now, I'm like, God, it feels like it has an impact on them. Like you were starting to say, like this start for Vinny might spell doom for how long he gets to stay in Kansas City. And look, I hope that's not the case. But when they signed Seth Lugo, when they signed Michael Wacha, I think they had intent of keeping those guys around for a little bit. But the truth is, a huge chunk of the roster is still under heavy control. So the only way that the roster is going to change a little bit is if they start changing it. Like, it's not like people are going to leave and then they'll replace them with different people. There aren't that many pending free agents on the team. Strom or Diaz, a couple of those guys, fine, I guess. Everyone else, like we've talked about this, everyone else is under control. And so I hope this is the pit. That this is the bottom.
I don't know. I mean, they're off today, and the Mariners coming to town, and then you got the Yankees.
Unfortunately, I don't think that it is.
No, I don't think 10 under 500 is the worst they're going to be all year, unfortunately.
Man, what happened? Do you ever just sit around with them in particular and be like, what the hell happened here? How did it go so bad? They've lost 10 series this year. They've already been swept 4 times.
Well, and the one thing they still had somewhat going for them was they were good at home. Well, they just got swept for the first time all year at home. So there's not even they're just really bad on the road, but they find ways to win at home. That didn't even happen. They just got the Red Sox team, by the way, coming into the series essentially had the same record as the Royals. A Red Sox organization that had fired not just their man, they cleaned house. They fired multiple pieces. Their offense in Boston stinks too. And yet they go out and they sweep you at Kauffman Stadium.
I got to say, pretty tough wake-up call for the Royals. The Boston Red Sox, who also had expectations similar to the Royals, fired like you said, everybody, and then came to your house and whipped you. Like, oh man, that's bad. They absolutely wrecked you and look, again, it's not like every single game is just an ass kicking. Last night was a close game. Doesn't matter. They're not winning those either. They get blown out occasionally. They lose close games, and some part of the unit eventually fails them. If they get perfect pitching, the offense doesn't score. If they get great starting pitching and some offense, the bullpen blows it. If the bullpen's having a nice night, the offense can't score a run to get them back in the game. It doesn't really matter. But I don't know. I hope that this doesn't change the math on some of these guys and how long I was expecting to be in Kansas City, or the possibility of how long they could be in Kansas City. But
Michael Garcia,
they're going to play a lot better for the rest of the year to even think that like next year is going to be a solvable problem.
Yeah, but the future, as far as the future guys, I mean, Michael Garcia and Bobby Witt Jr., nothing's happening with either of those guys. The question will be this season / in the offseason would be, does this year prompt them to need to move somebody like Vinny, somebody like Michael Wacha, somebody like Seth Lugo? Those are the type of pieces that you would, Cole Reagans, et cetera. Those are the type. I don't think they can on the pitching side because of the rotation next year. I think they have to keep some of those guys. Otherwise, your rotation's not going to be set up for 2027 at all to try to win. So I don't think there's a ton of pieces. When you look at moving guys in the order, there's only a couple that would ever have value, and you would be willing, I think, to move in the offseason.
I think
it's Vinny. I mean, honestly, it's guys like Vinny. It's guys like Cags. It's if you really wanted to pivot in a gigantic way,
a big pivot.
Stuff that's about it. Like Bobby and Michael Garcia and Salvi, there's nothing happening with those three.
Up until this season, I did not understand the Royals' reluctance because Vinny's been rumored in a couple of trade stuff over multiple years. Remember, he came on this show and joked about how he had heard a trade rumor on his wedding day, and then there was reports last offseason or this previous offseason that they were looking at Jesus Luzardo from the Marlins. Up until this point, I was like, I don't understand why you keep trying to trade away one of your better bats.
Yeah, but his value also is not good right now anyway. So
like it wouldn't make sense even if I didn't agree with it to begin with. But you're right in the sense that they're stuck in like a really weird spot. And look, I think it's like a 50-50 chance we find out somewhere in the show today that somebody's lost their job.
You think it's that high? I don't know if it's that high.
They're 20-30. They're on pace for 64 wins. It's gotten pretty bleak. Now, the text line, everybody, like we mentioned this before, Q is clearly the target for Royals fans. He must know that. The organization must know that. At this point, I think it's pretty clear who the fan base blames for a majority of their problems. And that person has become Q. But at some point, it's like, and I know that it doesn't, like Vern called it like weak yesterday. I get it. It doesn't make you look good if you have to fire someone who you hired or who you put in place to do this. It also doesn't make you look good being 20-30 with a roster that's supposed to win. And so sometimes you have to make yourself look bad in order to do it. I thought it was weird when the Chiefs fired John Dorsey after letting him do the entire draft. It was fine. It worked out okay. Sometimes you gotta mix things up a little bit just for the sake of mixing it up. Genuinely. I do not think that is the worst thing, but we'll see. Somebody says blah blah blah. It's on the players. We've already said that. Number one always is.
No, they're saying it's on the players. It's not, is what the text says.
It starts from the top of the organization.
No, it starts with the players. It absolutely. The difference is, again, the players. There's only so much you could do in terms of actually making a change there, right? Like we get the unrealistic texts. Okay, like once a show, we get a text. Somebody says, send down Vinny or cut Salvador Perez. Like, let's be realistic. Neither of those are happening, and neither of those should happen. You want to talk about giving guys days off. You want to talk about moving them down the order. You can do those things. The only possible chance
Vinny
somehow...
got a day off yesterday.
He did. The only chance at all of them possibly getting out of this 20-30 hole is that Vinny and Salvi get going again. That's the only chance they got of this somehow getting corrected.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Truth is, if you have any hope of them just playing, like, let's just say entertaining baseball the rest of the way, let's not talk playoffs or getting back in it or any of the things that aren't necessary conversations at the moment. Just enjoyable baseball for the rest of the summer. Vinny and Salvi have to be good. I mean, that's it. And they give Vinny a day off against a lefty. They still let Cags play and Carter Jensen and some of the others. That was a decided moment to be like, they moved him down in the order one day. They gave him a day off. The Royals are off today. And then he'll be right back in the order. My guess, somewhere near the middle of it, starting on Friday. And that can be the turning point moment in the season for him or for other people. But it's got to start soon. And like you said, They're 10 games under 500, and I got the Mariners for 3 and then the Yankees for 3? Oh, no. That's not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, unfortunately, I do not think 20 and 30 is as bad as it gets.
No, probably not. This year, we partnered with KCUC, who's donating $50 to Prostate Cancer Foundation. For every home run the boys in blue hit this season, 1 in 8 men will face prostate cancer. Early detection saves lives. At KCUC, Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. You see the best in KC. Schedule today at kcuc.com. I do want to talk more about Rasheed Rice and the situation currently surrounding the Royals, and not the, hey, they could possibly, hypothetically, in some world, have interest in an A.J. Brown report from yesterday, because I thought when you put it that vague, you're not actually hearing from anyone. You're just hypothetically speculating that a wide receiver could be available, therefore be available to Kansas City. I want to go back to the draft, and I do think that Brett Veach deserves to be criticized for this, because this is not hindsight. In the draft, when they had trading away a couple of picks, they'd used their first 5 selections, although not players, on defensive players. They had taken corners and defensive linemen and all this stuff. I said, you know, my one complaint is I wouldn't hate another wide receiver, seeing how you don't have long-term options and you can't trust some of the guys in the room. That was the exact conversation. And now that Rasheed Rice is in jail for the next 29 days, do we need a counter?
We do not.
Days till freedom?
29 days away. I mean,
We don't need that.
Do we need that, Drew? Do we need 29 days till freedom?
you should post every single morning a countdown.
I'll do Chiefs jersey numbers in the way that I hate it from the
100%.
schedule opening.
We are Eric Berry days away right now from.
Oh my God, that's messed up.
That actually is messed up. I'm sorry.
Rice is
I'm
out.
sorry.
Oh,
Eric
and I
Berry's
hate
my
the jersey
guy.
thing, as you guys know.
Anybody else wearing 29? I don't know.
I'll start at 28. I'll start tomorrow so we can
Who wears
leave.
28?
I don't know. Somebody.
Is there a
somewhere
28?
Not on the team. Well, is there a 28 on the team?
Sure, I'm sure somebody wears 28. Yeah.
You should do that. I think you should take pride in doing that every morning, Cody, until that
think so?
time is over with. Sure, why not?
And you got to say it with the important part is that you've always got to say the player with the number. Like you got to say
Nobody wears 28. I think corrected. Anyway.
Okay, you got to say we're Matt Araiza days away until Rasheed
yeah.
Rice is free. Anyway, he deserves blame. He deserves blame for this. This was genuinely one of the most predictable things on the planet. Rasheed Rice is unreliable. Xavier Worthy hasn't developed yet. Tyquan Thornton is your 3. You should have drafted a wide receiver. It's only now more painfully obvious because Rasheed Rice is in prison or jail. Sorry, let me get the right.
Yeah, look, okay, so you guys know where I stand on this whole thing. Rasheed Rice is an idiot.
Yeah,
whatever phrase you want to use to describe him, he's that. And he has no future long-term in Kansas City. Okay, let me get that out of the way. We got to calm the bleep down about this. Like, oh my gosh, Brett Veach screwed it up by not drafting a receiver this year. They should have gone and signed somebody. Rasheed Rice is going to be available week 1. So as bad as this crap is that he just did, and why I would not trust him moving forward, I think it has almost zero bearing on the 2026 season.
Because you think he'll be available for week 1.
And I understand he's rehabbing a knee injury
And Schefter did say
in
that
jail,
could slow
and that's not
his
ideal. I wouldn't want to
availability.
rehab from a knee injury or any surgery behind bars, especially as an NFL player. So that's not great. But also, he's out, as you're doing the counter over there, he's out of jail in 20-something days. The season doesn't start for what, 90 days? I'm not worried about his 2026 season. I just don't trust him to give him money long term. So I think people need to calm down a little bit and pump the brakes on this. Oh, see, this is now proof that Brett Veach needed to sign a receiver. Now, maybe if you think just for 2027, sure. But if your take is now that Rice is in jail for 20-something days, now it proves that they needed to sign another receiver. I completely disagree.
Well, I thought
He's
they
ready
needed to
for
sign one
week 1.
anyway.
He's
This
ready
only-
for week 1. He's going to be. I will bet you whatever bet you guys want to make that he's playing week 1 of the season for the Kansas City
But you want to
Chiefs.
make me a bet that'll be available for 17 games? Because that's the problem with the wide receiver.
Sure, but
he's not going to be available for the entire
But that
season.
has nothing. My point. That has nothing to do with him going to jail,
Could be.
though.
Could be if his knee hurts on week 4.
So now any
and he
injury.
couldn't
Injury that he has, we're going to blame jail.
Any injury to that knee, I am.
Cody,
Not any injury. Not if he hurts his shoulder. Not if he hurts his ankle. But if that knee gets hurt week 1, 4, 17, it's because he didn't rehab it right in my mind. Absolutely. Some of it is the long-term gold. I want him to take a wide receiver because they didn't have answers in 2027.
Sure, that was a fine take before the draft.
Reliable wide receiver unit.
Yes.
And the fact that Rasheed Rice is in trouble again makes it even less reliable.
But your argument though shouldn't be only because Rasheed Rice. Like we're we should have been having this discussion. I mean, honestly, the day after the draft was over
We
with.
did about wide receiver.
No, and that's
we
what I'm saying.
absolutely
If you want to just say in general, because like going,
Wait, was it the same opinion though?
if
Yeah,
you
I
wanna,
said they should have drafted a wide receiver instead of all those defensive players. Alex and I disagreed then, I think.
yeah, again,
Yeah.
if your stance is you say like they should have drafted a receiver more, and that's been your stance all offseason, then like fine, like okay, nothing has changed. I guess my thing is. Why is it now? To me, the jail thing has not any bearing on now more proof that Brett Veach screwed up in the draft. I disagree with that.
I think it's even more proof that he has a long history of being unreliable.
Sure.
But I can't be guaranteed in week 6 he's not suspended by the NFL for doing something else stupid.
But that would have applied. I guess what I'm saying, Cody, that same sentence would have applied if you said that on February 1st.
I think it applies even more now, though, because he couldn't even get through probation, you know? Like, it's like statistically, let's just say if there was an odds maker on what's the likelihood Rasheed Rice gets in trouble with the law again, it went up a couple of percentage points with this most recent arrest because he couldn't even stay out of trouble from the previous
Yeah, that's
time
why I wouldn't
he was
give him
in
a
trouble.
long-term extension, but I think he'll be fine in 2026.
If you're that worried
season.
though about Rasheed Rice, then you should make that trade for AJ Brown because of the
I don't
talent.
know A.J. Brown, though.
Sure, but you should make a trade for a good wide receiver in that case, just because the guys we're talking about. Because if you look at just the roster room itself, the wide receiver room, it's not good from a depth perspective. Last year they had 5 guys that caught passes, essentially a wide receiver. 2 of them are gone, and it made up 52 over 80. It was 82 receptions between Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. The guys who are listed at 4 and 5 have a combined 3 catches in their careers. So that's the argument for them signing at least 2 wide receivers just in terms of making the room up.
Look,
I still think
beyond just the wide before this the receiver Rice thing.
But that's before Rice was even put in jail. I was on board with bringing back Tyreek Hill or signing Stephon Diggs or signing Juwan Jennings before he signed with Minnesota. Again, that's been my whole thing. Is like if you just think they need wide receiver help, fine. I agree with that take 3 weeks ago. I don't think that this 30-day thing is why now suddenly we act like Brett Veach screwed up the draft. That's where I'm taking issue.
It's not
with.
even like, and I guess like that's taking it too far. I'm not saying he screwed up everything in the entire draft. I'm not saying I'd undo every single thing he did in the entire draft. I'm saying he didn't have to spend his first 5-6 selections all on defense. This goes back to like, now that we have even more information on it, it's like, I don't know why you didn't want, like what I don't understand is, why didn't you want more of a safety net at that position? I didn't understand it then. I understand it even less now. Because, and look, you can be high on different players and all that stuff. We can all think that Xavier Worthy's going to have 900 yards. On paper, so far their wide receiver unit is a guy whose career year was 400 yards in Tyquan Thornton, a guy who probably won't play 17 games in Rasheed Rice based on any part of his history, and a career best 650 yards or whatever it is for Xavier Worthy. It is not a reliable unit. And I felt like it got even less reliable because even though Rasheed Rice got in trouble, he couldn't find a way to even stay out of that trouble.
Didn't Brett Veach say that drafting all the defensive players wasn't the plan either?
I claim that.
I think
I always have a hard time with the belief of that. But yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, I think that was the stance afterwards. But I mean, if you're mad about Rasheed, if you think this Rasheed Rice thing changes anything, Cody, then I think your stance should be they should trade for AJ Brown
Just pushes
or
me
George
further,
Pickens, or they should make a move to get a guy that is going to be like Rasheed Rice, because I think we all agree Stephon Diggs, as good as talented as he still might be, he's not capable, at least it seems like, of putting up the numbers that you would expect from your number 1 wide receiver with Patrick Mahomes. Like Keenan Allen's not that guy anymore. At least we don't think so. So I think that from the standpoint of if you're nervous that, let's say, Rasheed plays only 10 games, then the guy that you bring in to replace him should be somebody that can fill in that void of the wide receiver 1 compared to wide receiver 3 or 4 or 5. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, it's tough. Look, we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, and some of this is like, maybe we didn't have to have this conversation yet, but now this goes back to like the Royals. We talked about this with the outfield. I'll tell you right now, if the wide receiver unit sucks, well, then it's definitely Brett Veach. He's had multiple years to do something different in the wide receiver unit, and he rolled back Hollywood and Juju one year, and he rolled back Thornton and Worthy and Rice the next. So, like, if the wide receiver unit's no good, Brett Veach will bear his blame anyway that he didn't take a wide receiver, or like, and some of this is just, they had so many high picks, and they were just like, nah, we'll just fix the unit that's been good. And you're like,
they needed to replace
weird.
corner.
They did.
They had to replace corner.
It's not even the Mons or Delane one. That pick probably genuinely bothers me the least.
The Peter Woods one, maybe?
It does.
Yeah.
It's all of them combined, Drew. It's not like an individual. It's not like I'd say, well, I wanted a wide receiver instead of Peter Woods,
like
or I wanted a wide receiver instead of R. Mason Thomas, or I wanted a wide receiver instead of Canada, or I would have risked it to try to get Mansour at 9 and had that selection to take a wide receiver. It's just any of them could have been the selection to try to help that problem. That's
I know you're not fully on board with it, but this is why what you're saying, I don't even fully disagree. To me, it's a 2+ year plan to restructure this entire roster. And next offseason is the year where they are going to devote a ton of resources to the wide receiver position, both via trade,
Almost
free
no
agency,
choice,
draft. And so that, to me, was their plan moving forward. And ideally, Xavier Worthy has a good year. If he doesn't, then they have to completely reset the entire wide receiver room if he doesn't have a breakout season. And so that we're going to find out together when the season happens. But we'll see. There's also a chance that we get to training camp and Rasheed Rice doesn't miss a beat and he looks great. And this conversation for 2026 at least doesn't matter as much. But we'll see.
But you're anti the counter? Someone says I can just put it on the stream. Like in the corner of the video.
I don't need a jail day. I don't need a jail counter. No,
we do not
I don't need that.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think that's a good idea.
If
you want to tweet it out on your personal account, you go right ahead. You go.
You think Speckle let me put that up?
Of all people, you should be the one, Cody. If that's allowed, you should be the one because you hate it the most.
I do hate it, and then for a while people were sending it. So tomorrow, if I send out Abner Haynes days away until Rasheed's a free man,
you go for it. There's also a chance he gets out earlier anyway.
Straight away, like at 8:30 in the morning or like 9 o'clock every single morning. It's got to be the same time.
I think I'd make it about
scheduled tweet
6 days before the Chiefs sent me a.
You think so?
A note.
I don't think they'd say anything.
You think they'd just be quiet?
Yeah, they would.
Interesting.
They wouldn't say anything to you.
They just let it happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'd say, all right, you really want to do this? Go for it. Whatever.
Well, they can't really what are you going to be like? Hey, take it easy on him. He's an idiot, but he's our idiot. So if you don't mind, we still need him to play wide receiver. That goes back to the whole thing that people are saying he's going to get cut. The Chiefs need him too much. This conversation,
they're not
at this point, they're not doing it.
The one we're having right now,
they're not cutting him.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I don't believe they're cutting him. To me, that would have already happened.
Agreed. Yeah, they're not going to wait a week and then do it. With no. That was never going to be the case, right? I don't think so anyway. Good times, We can talk more wide receivers here in just a minute.
Yeah, coming up next, let's talk about the AFC West also and how close it's going to be. Plus, yes, we might have a timeline on a available wide receiver. That's coming up right here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
Greg here with V's Italiano Ristorante on 40 Highway in Independence, just one exit east of Arrowhead. V's Italiano, family-owned restaurant, is 60 years old, making us one of the oldest and most popular restaurants in Kansas City. Maybe it's our famous baked lasagna, fettuccine alfredo, or ossobuco. No, it has to be the red sauce. Offering dine-in, carry-out, catering, or private dining, go to vsrestaurant.com. And as Mama V always said,
it's a nice place to fall in love. We look forward to serving you soon.
Fanatic Sportsbook makes every baseball game day this season hit harder. Swing for the fences with long ball jackpots. Just pick the player who hits the longest homer of the day to win a share of $50K in fan cash. Every day brings a new shot to win. Customers also get baseball profit boosts every game day. And your bets earn you fan cash, win or lose. To spend on merch, tickets, exclusive experiences, and more. Go deep this baseball season and download Fanatic Sportsbook today for the best baseball betting experience each and every game day. Fanatic Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MyReset. CT call 888-789-7777. MA call 800-327-5050. NY call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Offer not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatic Sportsbook app.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Just getting started here on a Thursday. Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Dixon with you.
I honestly think we've been agreeing too much on this show, so it was nice to be on the opposite side.
That is true. We have been aligned.
I think Brett Veach was an idiot for not drafting a wide receiver, and you think I'm an idiot for thinking that. It's great. It's perfect. Needed that sometimes in our life, you know?
That's a oversimplification, yes, it is. But yes.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to explain it to the audience.
Yeah, someone did text in yesterday and they said, yeah, you guys, all the way around, you guys are all agreeing too much. They go, usually Gold and Drew are arguing. We haven't argued in a week or so. That's true. It's been, you know what? Don't worry. When we get to football season, we get closer, there will be plenty of disagreements, I guarantee you, or maybe later today on something.
What
I don't know.
What could we disagree with on the Royals?
Yeah.
They are playing bad baseball and need to stop doing that.
I mean, we disagreed yesterday on the trade thing. I don't think it's you said they need to trade for right-handed bat, and I said that, I think that's not worthwhile right now. They got to prove that they can string together wins before I'm giving up assets for the future. So
a little more nuanced on that one, yeah. But, you know, good. It's good. Good. Feels good to be back, you know?
We'll have a snitch line, by the way, later on today. If there's anything that you guys see around town, you need to get off your chest that you've maybe done. Snitch line Thursday coming up.
Save it.
All the way in the 1 o'clock hour. We got to about 1:10 or so. So you got some time to think maybe what you've been seeing or maybe something you are going to witness later on over the next couple hours. 913-586-7965. Let's talk.
I'm an idiot.
I was like, what is that? Let's get
Grinch.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, for sure. Let's get to the AFC West for a second. Then we'll talk about a player that we now maybe have more of a timeline on when he could be available for this NFL season. But the AFC West, I think we've acknowledged, is going to be one of the more competitive divisions again in the NFL. I don't think any of us expected the division winner to get to 14 wins again like
Floor
last
should
year.
have gone up a little bit with the addition of
Even
the
Raiders,
a better coach.
Yeah, and the Raiders, we'll see what their ceiling is. I think the Broncos are not getting to 14 wins, and I don't think anybody's getting to 14 wins. But if you ask the question of the three, let's take the Raiders out of this, Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, who's most likely to miss the playoffs right now? How jumbled is it? How tight is it for you to come up with your answer? Because I can tell you where the betting markets are.
Real close.
The Broncos to miss the playoffs are plus 122. The Chargers are plus 140, and the Chiefs are plus 154. For those that don't bet or whatever, that is saying it is more likely the Broncos miss the playoffs than any of the other two, but it is very, very close.
So I'll say those odds are incredibly close. So like you would think that they're saying it's about an equal odd that any of them do it, which is what makes the conversation interesting. Here's one stat I saw yesterday that makes me want to say the Denver Broncos. Even though they have the better of the three rosters, it's not just the one-score game part of it, which certainly could come back around. And I learned that lesson the hard way for the Chiefs schedule last year. I was like, I think people are making too big of a deal about these one-score wins. And it came back to kick them in the face this year. So fine, lesson learned. Now I'm here to tell you that I think it might matter a little bit because I learned the lesson the hard way. The Broncos are currently scheduled to face 10 teams on their schedule of teams who made the playoffs last year. Chiefs only 6. Chargers only 6. That feels like a significant difference in the quality of opponent category to go with it. And look, I'm not going to lie to you. The Chargers schedule is not easy. I think the least likely to miss the playoffs is the Chiefs of the three. I actually think the odds market has it right. I think I would say it's only because the roster's worse. Because I think it's close between the Broncos and the Chargers.
It's close between all three.
I think it's Chargers 1, Broncos 2, Chiefs 3 in likelihood of missing the playoffs. And the only reason I have the Chargers 1 is I trust their roster less than Denver's. But their schedule's slightly less hard than Denver's, but not way less hard. The Chargers have a brutal start. Chiefs could front run in this division. Just based on the way that the schedule works out. The Broncos schedule is at Chiefs versus Jacksonville versus the Rams, at San Francisco, at the Chargers versus Seattle for the first 6.
Sure. I mean,
they might start 3-3, 2-4.
If we're just saying, hey, by week 8, who is more likely to be in first place in the AFC West? Well, I would bet that the Chiefs are more likely. By week 8, the Chiefs, honestly, they almost need to be. You know what I mean? Based off
if they're winning the division, they better be.
Based off where the schedule is setting up on the back half, the Chiefs should be in first place the first 2 months or so into the season. If they're not, they're honestly in a bad spot already. But as the season goes on, I mean, it's very close for a reason on the odds market. I think the reason why you probably would choose the Broncos or Chargers first is because it's the whole Patrick Mahomes effect. If we think Mahomes is playing in 17 games, is he missing the playoffs in back-to-back seasons, right? I understand that. I don't think, though, this is the same way we've discussed it in the past, though, where it's like, oh, well, clearly it's got to be the Broncos or Chargers. No, I mean, there's a case that the Chiefs are the team that is still most likely in that. The only reason why I'm not going there is because of Patrick Mahomes, and the more and more it looks like he's going to play week 1 of the season. And so am I really thinking he's not going to be available? Yeah. And I do think the addition of Ken Walker is going to help them out. But this is not the landslide that it used to be, where it's like, well, obviously the Chiefs are least likely to miss the playoffs of the group. No, I think it's very close. I get your point on the Broncos, though, which is all the one-score games, regression to the mean. The only thing with them is when you have an elite top-tier, top-3 defense, that automatically puts you in a pretty good spot. If you I'd have to go back and look at the NFL history. Sure. Teams that have top-3 defenses, how often do they miss the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, even like Houston or Cleveland was a pretty good defense last year, but only on the sack numbers, and so not across the board. It's probably not often, but I'll bet it's less likely than a top 5 offense.
For sure, yeah, it's an offensive league.
In the end, it still plays some part. I guess part of the question for me is, had Patrick Mahomes not gotten hurt, do you think they would have made the playoffs?
No.
Because I don't think so either, but they certainly wouldn't have missed it by much.
No, they would have finished with 9 wins.
Because they
would have got to 9 wins. They would have won 3 more games.
What was their record when he got hurt? He got hurt in the Houston
6
game?
and whatever.
Did he hurt in the Houston game?
The Chargers game, I think.
Chargers game.
6. I think they had 6 wins, and they finished with 6.
So, yeah, they had 6 wins. They were 6, and they had lost the final, including the Chargers game, 4 in a row. So they had lost. So they were 6 and whatever. I guess 6 plus 4, 10.
6 and 11.
7. Yeah. No, they were like 500, 6 and 7.
Yeah.
And so, if you look at where they were, do I think they were going to make the playoffs? No, but they might have finished with 9 or 10 wins. And I have a hard time shaking what you said. I firmly in my gut do not believe there is a roster bad enough that Patrick Mahomes will miss the playoffs 2 years in a row if he's healthy the entire season. And so last year, I agree with you. I think they would have missed the playoffs with 9 wins or whatever, which means I have a hard time imagining, because like in my head, Patrick Mahomes could go be the starting quarterback of almost the worst, the Cardinals, right? They have one of the worst rosters. They're currently not favored to win a single game this year.
Yeah.
The Arizona Cardinals. If he went on the Cardinals, I would predict them to be a wild card team. That's just what, and I don't think that's an impossible standard that he's been set. That is genuinely what I think he has proven he has done over the course of his career. The guy wins 11, 12, 13 or more games. And so I would think that they're probably right back in that mix. The thing about Denver is they could be climbing an uphill battle, and the Chargers could be climbing an uphill battle, where they're not in a playoff spot for the first 6 to 8 weeks, and then they have to spend the rest of their time trying to crawl their way back into it. I gave you Denver's schedule. Here's the run after the first 2 weeks for the Chargers. Pretty easy. They got the Cardinals and the Raiders, both at home, by the way. This is the stretch of games after that. At Buffalo, at Seattle, versus Denver, at Kansas City, at LA, versus Houston, at Baltimore. My God. They got to be a really good team to even go, 3-3 in that? Or, how many games is that total? 4, 5, 6, 7? I think it'd be a borderline miracle if they went 4-3, 3-4.
So you're right. It's a brutal schedule for them. But if the Chargers are just good though, then they have every chance to win those games as well. Like
yes,
it depends on where you put them as.
But I don't care how good of a team you are, unless you're a superstar team. You're not getting through that stretch better than 4-3.
But if the Chargers are a high quality team, like we're going through and acting like those are all losses. Like the Chargers could go on the road and beat Seattle early on in the season. That's not a 0% chance. They're going to be underdogs. The Chargers are going to be what? 3.5 point dogs at Seattle, probably week 4. I guess I could go look and probably find the line right now.
They'll be a dog to Buffalo, Seattle, at Kansas City, at Los Angeles, at Baltimore.
Yep,
They'll be favored most likely against Houston and at home versus Denver. So they'll be underdogs in 5 of the 7 games. But look, I still think, and this is not to say they're a bad team. I think the most likely scenario is 3 wins, 3-4 because they're a good football team. But that puts you behind the 8 ball from a playoff standpoint. Because the schedule, there are easier opponents certainly down the road, but you'll still have Denver and Kansas City and Tampa Bay and teams that can at least be salty where, maybe you're a 50-50 chance to win them, but let's say you win 50% of them. You just kind of run into that mess. And so that's why I think the Chargers, do you have them one most likely to miss?
Yeah, I have the Chargers 1, and then I barely 2A Broncos, 2B Chiefs. I mean, it's something like
50-50.
that. Coming up in 20 minutes, we'll talk more about that with Josh Brisco, Chiefs pre- and post-game host for the Chiefs Radio Network here on 96.5 The Fan. He's going to join us, catch up with him, not only about Rasheed Rice, but about this very conversation in the AFC West and just how tight it is going to be. And maybe also what he thinks of the latest timeline. So there was an update yesterday from Adam Schefter, who was on the Pat McAfee show, around Tyreek Hill. Quote, Tyreek Hill is an injury situation where he might not be ready until midway through the season. Now that, if you've been following this over the last couple of months, that shouldn't be all that shocking. There was a report that he, back in March, maybe wouldn't have been able to pass a physical even if a team was trying to sign him, and that this could drag on for a while. So if it is midseason, I actually think this is good news for the Chiefs. My thought process is midseason acquisition, it is way more likely that we have a good feel about, is Rasheed Rice available? Is Xavier Worthy progressing? Is it more likely Tyreek Hill can join a team like the Chiefs midseason and pick it up and have success than it is he randomly joins the Buffalo Bills or the Chargers in the middle of the season? I think it actually makes it more likely he signs with Kansas City if he's a midseason acquisition. Or do you sign him at camp and put him on the PUP list and just let him play it out for 8 weeks?
I get your argument of, do you need a wide receiver right away? Because you and I both think that Rasheed Rice will be available week 1. Again, I told you I don't think he'll be available for 17 games, but I do think he'll be available for week 1, barring some sort of injury setback. So that part of it kind of changes the math, I guess, at least a little bit. Look, there's a part of me that thinks it works great just as long as he doesn't feel a need to sign before camp. I think it was Adam Schefter who had said on Get Up This Morning with Greenberg that he thinks a lot of the good wide receivers can wait until camp to make the decisions on what's the best landing spot for me, which makes sense. Yeah. Wait for an injury to happen at wide receiver, find the staff that's got the best plan for you or decides they don't have the unit. But with Tyreek, it's like, I don't even want to sign him in August. I want to sign him in like October. I want the season to start. See if their plan of Worthy will get better. Rice will be the level of player he's been when available on the field. and then they could make a determination if that throws a wrench into the plans and they can just say, no, thank you. Or if they're desperate, like last year, and do need the help, and Rice can come in. To me, like, his injury being half of the year only works if he's willing to wait to sign. If there's some team that's willing to just stash him on the bench and say, we'll activate you in week 7, well, then that's, like, I don't think that should be the Chiefs necessarily. Because I don't want to, like, have to know that I have to be invested into that versus just hoping I can figure it out later. If I'm just saying I'm all in on that, I'd rather just sign a player who's available week 1. I'd rather be in the Stephon Diggs market or
the issue with Diggs is there's a chance that he has some personal conduct policy violation coming.
Cool. A lot of great options the Chiefs have.
Well, it is May. It is in May 20th.
Yeah,
there's not a ton of veteran options.
That's true.
Juwan Jennings would have been really intriguing, but he was expensive.
Like Drew mentioned, like free agent or like trade candidates. I mean, who the hell's trading their wide receivers right now other than A.J. Brown?
Nobody's trading anybody other than A.J. Brown right this second.
Like, I can't, I can't get Brian Thomas or the ones we were mentioning around the draft. Those guys are on their roster at this point, right?
Yeah, the only way Brian Thomas becomes available is if the Jags are a dark horse and they trade for A.J. Brown, and then that prompts them to move on. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, they make a 2-part trade. I don't see that happening.
It doesn't really happen a whole lot in the NFL. That'd be pretty stunning. But
someone says Keenan Allen, reliable and never
he's
in
out
trouble.
there, and he's not in trouble. That's true. That if you just want a squeaky clean wide receiver, I just don't think he helps you as much as maybe the 2 other names. The problem with Tyreek Hill is we still really just don't know. That knee could be completely shot.
It could be. He may never be the same
he may
player.
not have anything left.
He might not. And he was also talking about, like, I don't know. He wasn't talking about like he wanted to play until he was 40 years old. So it's a lot of work to come back from an injury like that. I'm not saying he's always been a hard worker, but it's, I don't know. Is it a fit? Does it still make sense? The one thing, if I were Tyreek Hill that I'd do it for is, yeah, fine, I'll sign with you in October. I know the offense. I know Patrick Mahomes. I'm back with the Chiefs. I'll put all, and you've got to have belief in yourself that you'll just bounce back and be the same player that you were before and all that other stuff. For him, it's the best fit. That's the thing that stands out to me. It might actually be a better fit for Tyreek Hill than it is for the Chiefs. Because if you're not going to be available to week 7 or 8, halfway through the year, well, what better place to land than the quarterback and coach and system you are all comfortable with in a wide receiver unit where you'd have a little bit less competition to immediately break in and have an impact.
That's what I'm saying. That's why him joining midseason is better for the Chiefs.
I think it's a great fit for Tyreek even more than the Chiefs.
No,
like,
I'm just saying it's good
here,
for the Chiefs because it means the competition that they will be. If there's other teams that are interested in Tyreek Hill, it's more likely if he's not ready till October that he signs with Kansas City, in my opinion, than it is if you told me he was ready week 1, fully healthy.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's more likely he would sign with the Chargers or some of these other teams on top of the obvious thing, which is right now all signs point to him wanting to be back in Kansas City.
Yeah, it would definitely change the math at least a little bit. Someone says Tyreek probably needs some money. I was like, I don't know. He's not like, I'll tell you, he needs money. Rasheed Rice is who needs money.
Tyreek Hill has, 10 kids or something? So
yeah, 10 kids.
I don't know, 8.
So crazy. Let's see. How
Rasheed Rice, yes. Financially, I would imagine with all the legal bills and the civil suits, I'm guessing he also could use some money.
If we could only get one jailhouse interview
this
month, would you want it from Rice or Chiefsaholic?
Chiefsaholic.
You answered that quick.
Yeah.
I can talk to Rice after he's out. He's only going to be there a couple weeks.
What's he going to say? He's not going to say anything.
No.
Chiefsaholic likes to talk. Rasheed Rice is not going to talk.
Did you get him a training camp?
He's not going to.
According to
you and I both. There's no chance Rasheed Rice is going to. They're not. There's no chance the Chiefs are putting Rasheed Rice on this show during training camp. Are you kidding me? I would love him on the show. There's no
question.
There's no way. You know better. There's no way.
I was asking a question.
This report says he has 7 confirmed kids. There was the rumor that he had 5 kids in 1 year. I don't know if that's accurate.
You're back to Tyreek Hill. Yeah.
Back in that research phase. We should, like when we ever have questions like that, we should just see if Drew will do a little research for us. Drew, just find out how many kids Tyreek Hill has.
Yeah, let me get on that.
Honestly, the Rice thing, the money, that's real. Like some team is going to get Rasheed Rice very cheap next offseason. I just don't think it'll be Kansas City. He cost himself tens of millions of dollars on the next deal. Mm-hmm. He's going to have to sign a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal. It's not going to be 3 or 4. And if it's going to be 3 or 4, it's going to have some stipulations in it that protect it. But as expensive as wide receivers are, somebody will take the risk. Wide receivers don't come cheap. Jamar Chase, what's his next contract going to be, Drew? $50 million? What's he make now? He's making 40 now, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So $50+ million? That part of it just completely changes it.
I mean, he's also not going to the Chiefs. He's also said that he would. Yeah.
Now people are asking if any of these players are available to pitch. or hit for the Royals. Go on that end. They need some help, too.
Jeez.
Maybe they should let you know what? Honestly, if this season's going to go south, let Cax pitch.
No, I'm telling you. Why
Honestly,
not?
if it's going to go completely up.
Stop.
Bring people to the K. Legitimately.
Stop. They're not turning it to the Savannah Bananas.
If they told you Jack
But it
Caglione was
wouldn't
starting
be the Savannah Bananas. We know he's good.
If they said, hey, next Tuesday, Jack Caglione's going to start, you go?
Yes.
Yeah, of course I would go. That's not the point. Isn't just to sell tickets for one night and make a joke of your franchise even more than you already are with your play.
If I knew he was pitching, I'd drive across the city on all the way to the other side to go see him play. I'd take the 40-minute drive.
That's a one-night thing. That doesn't do anything for your franchise. It's embarrassing.
Oh, it would. Agree.
Until he shoves, and then it's like, well, you know what?
Shoves? He hasn't pitched in 2 years. 3 years. When was the last time he pitched? He didn't even pitch in the minors. It was Florida.
It's been at least 2 years.
That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. I will say, though, his arm in right field, the velocity would still be there. He's got an absolute laser out in right field. He had that outfield assist on, what was it, Sunday or Monday? One of those days. I don't remember. Let's go to the college football side before we talk more Chiefs football with our guy Joshua Brisco.
Yeah.
Coming up here in about 10 minutes. And then, of course, we'll get back to the Royals in the noon hour as well. But I saw a story over the KC Star that I thought had a good inside look of the thought process from Bill Self. And it only further convinced me that this is the last year. And look, Bill Self had said before his doctors, he said he felt helpless before his doctor's meeting. Said he was feeling so bad that he genuinely thought that this was going to be it. He was going to walk away from the sport. And he was going to do it. And so he said try to self-treat. He saw doctors and then finally realized, okay, this can be taken care of and I can feel good. But he said he was facing the quandary of whether or not he was going to step away from the sport. I still think he came back because he had the number one prospect. And he wanted one more bite at the apple. But he says it's 100% accurate he's facing the dilemma on whether or not to return to the sport, which makes me think this has got to be, if it's not the last year, it's the second to last year.
I mean, he's acknowledged.
Right?
He's acknowledged he's taking it basically year by year now. It's a year by year thing, and I think it's all going to be about his health. That was the entire conversation when we were wondering if he was going to retire and step away. It was all going to be more health. Not that he didn't want to coach. It was going to be, did he think he could actually coach health-wise?
Sounds like he had a very serious contemplation about that.
We had the conversation the day that he announced that he was coming back. We were like, well, that must mean that he thinks he can get the number one recruit in the country. And it took longer than people thought, but
a little more work.
But he got the number one recruit in the country. And so, yeah, I think that absolutely was part of it as well.
Is he expected to be, Stokes, what level by Darren Peterson recruit levels he?
I mean, he's not putting up 30 a night.
He isn't as good as Darren Peterson. He isn't as generational, quote unquote, as Darren Peterson was considered to be, but he'll be very good.
I mean, he's still the number one recruit for a reason.
Stylistically, they're also not the same at all.
No.
Like I think
he's more of like a triple-double guy, right? Like do everything.
Yeah,
maybe a better passer.
Yeah, he won't give you like 25, but he'll give you 13, 9, and 7 on a regular basis, which I think again plays into the ability of creating for other people. I think it helps potentially make them a better team than they could have been last year just off of that prospect alone.
Look, you got to love coaching. I'm not saying that. It just feels like if I was having the dilemma over health and I had tens of millions of dollars like Self, I'd be very tempted to walk away.
And it sounds like he was close.
Yeah.
Sounds like he was close. But also, when this is all you've done your entire life.
It's your entire personality.
And it's what you love doing still. And you're not considering not doing it because you don't love it anymore. You're doing it because is your body physically going to allow you to do it? There's a big difference than if you just feel like you're burnt out. And that's not what this has ever been about for him.
No, it absolutely hasn't been. But it was very honest, in my opinion, the article being like, yep, it was Vahe Gregorians, I think, if you guys want to check it out. It was just like, yep, I didn't feel great. I was self-medicating. I hoped that I didn't think it was ever going to go away. I was just going to quit because I felt so bad. And then I saw some doctors and things got more in control and I felt better and I didn't have to worry as much about that being the issue that kept me back from at least turning into that kind of coach. I guess the other part is like, you can't some of it is like, I hate for Bill to go out this way. The number one recruit 2 years in a row and then just two very disappointing NCAA tournament appearances. I'm not saying he has to go out winning the title, Gold, but he's got to get to the second weekend, right? You get the number one recruit 2 years in a row. You got to at least get that player to the Sweet 16.
We'll see how the year pans out, but yeah, I would say the expectation's probably that. Just based on, I think the team, just looking at what they've done between the recruiting class being as good as it is, the number of players they brought in, as well as just the portal. The roster's it looks like it's going to be deeper. Like we were talking about them last year. They were only like 6 deep in terms of reliability. They might not even have been 6 deep in terms of reliability. Yeah. So it feels like they'll at least have that going for them, where they'll have more guys that they can count on, which I think in turn is going to give them a better chance at getting a better seed, certainly than a 4. I mean, they should absolutely shoot for that 1 or 2 seed based on the amount of talent that they probably have accrued here over the offseason.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously they're shooting to be a top seed. I think when we were discussing
when was the last time they were 1 or 2?
We were discussing the recruitment stuff. I mean, this goes back
at least 2 years, Cody.
They weren't. They had no chance to be a national title contender without getting Stokes, and that was the whole thing. That's where I think, talking about disagreeing, that's where Drew and I disagreed at the time, because I think I said if they don't get Stokes, I said they got no shot.
I don't buy that, because the team that just won the national title did not have a single solitary top 5 recruit on the team, and they won the national title by a landslide. So
I just didn't know, just because it happens one year doesn't mean that's just how it's going to be every year, though. Either.
But it's possible. Anyways.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's yes.
And Bill Self's a good enough coach, at least I still think so, to make it happen even without Tyron Stokes. But maybe it's not. Yeah. I don't know.
When's the last time they were a 1 or 2 seed again?
22,
now.
I think, maybe.
A few years, yeah.
Yeah, 22. They were a top 5 team in the country that year. I was just trying to remember. That's all. They don't miss the tournament, so at least it's never fallen to that depths. They just haven't been quite as dominant as they have been. When's the last time they missed a tournament? Was the 80s?
37 years or something like that.
Not the vacated one. I don't care about that. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
If you look it up, if you look it up,
I saw them play in it.
Yeah.
You know, I watched them. That part doesn't mean anything to me. And then the COVID year, but nobody played.
1988.
I still think that 2019-2020 team had a real good chance at winning the title. Bill got screwed on that one.
Yeah, based on Basketball Reference, it shows 1988-89, the year after they won the title.
Okay, that sounds right. All right,
but that also might have been the same scenario of going back to the vacated stuff.
Cody, that COVID year was the same year that Obi Toppin was on Dayton, and Dayton was like top 10 in the country. Like that was going to be one of those fun tournaments that we unfortunately missed out on.
It was just they had Christian Brown. Ochai.
They were going to the Final Four.
Udoka.
they were going to the Final Four.
They had the bigs. They had the guards.
Michigan was them that year.
Maybe they don't cut down the nets because you can't guarantee anything like that. Final Four, I would have been shocked if they weren't a Final Four team that year.
Like that team was good enough that Brown couldn't even get on the court. He was a freshman, but I mean, he barely played. That's just how good that team was. That's all.
All right, coming up next, we get right back into the Chiefs with Joshua Brisco, pre- and post-game host for the Chiefs Radio Network. We'll ask him about the AFC West and also what the Rasheed Rice scenario means to him for the 2026 season. That's coming up right here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour, Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Coming up in 20 minutes, we'll get to the trash of the day. Don't forget, you guys can always watch the show now in 4K over on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That way you don't miss any of the shows here. On 96.5 The Fan, as well as the J Southland Tow Service text line being wide open, 913-586-7965. Let's get right back into the Chiefs and not only talk about this division, but of course where things are at with Rasheed Rice. We welcome in Josh Brisco, Chiefs contributor. You guys will hear him this fall once again on the Chiefs radio network pre and post game. Brisco, good to have you back on the show. I feel like it's been, I guess maybe around the draft, it was the last time we checked in with you. Let's just start with the news, unfortunately, of the week around Rasheed Rice. What do you actually think it does for 26? Let's just start there.
It's such a good question because I think that the simplest answer is not much, which doesn't mean that it excuses anything. It doesn't make any of it less frustrating. But I'm going to place right now, maybe there's more information. Maybe there's something we don't know. Maybe the team's really frustrated because they were told something. You think back to when have the Chiefs had a really severe reaction to some sort of off the field thing? You go back to Kareem Hunt and you figure out kind of where that relationship fell apart. Putting all that to the side, though, the big asterisk there that maybe there's stuff we don't know. Maybe something changes in the next 30 days or whatever. Right now, Rasheed Rice is the number one receiver on the depth chart. And right now, he's like kind of the only guy who you could see reasonably being in that role as this team's number one. I'm holding my stock on Xavier Worthy. I really like Tyquan Thornton. I was excited when they drafted Jalen Royals, and obviously he really didn't play last year. I don't know what the evolution of this offense looks like with Rasheed Rice out of the picture. So I assume the Chiefs hope that the first month of rehab goes well from jail and that he serves the time here, and that you just try to hope you can navigate the next 9 or 10 months or whatever as cleanly as possible. And then obviously this being his contract year, I do assume that this continues to change things in the long-term view. But until something else comes across my desk, he's this team's number one receiver right now.
When you look at like what they went back to the draft, Alex and I were talking about it to start the show. I don't know where you were after when they had traded some picks and moved up and all this. One of my very few complaints probably about their approach to the draft was I'd have probably used one of the picks before the 5th round on a wide receiver. And I'm surprised that they didn't consider that into their plan, knowing I thought at the time the unknown that came in the wide receiver unit. Their biggest known is Rasheed Rice from a performance standpoint, but it's not from an off-the-field standpoint. Do you look back differently, wondering whether or not they should have addressed wide receiver earlier in the draft?
I don't look back on it differently because that's where I was at that draft time. That's the one thing. I mean, I thought they'd probably go D-line earlier, and obviously Peter Woods at the end of the first round is still relatively early. But it seems pretty clear to me that the biggest needs going into the draft were defensive end and wide receiver. They didn't draft the defensive end until 40. Obviously, they had significant need at corner, and that makes the Mansour Delane pick make a lot of sense. But also, and this is never fun to talk about at the time if you just want to be excited about Delane, but the one thing that really hurt in the move up to get Delane as opposed to waiting there, maybe Jordan Tyson falls in your lap at 9 and you navigate that reality, whatever. You move up to get Delane, the pick that you give up to make the largest jump there is pick 74. That was a huge pocket of wide receivers. Malachi Fields went 74, and then I think like 6 other receivers went between 74 and 94, well before the Chiefs were within striking distance again after that, and they ended up taking Kennedy in the 4th. That would have been a place for me to take a swing at receiver. But even then, I don't know that guy would have been a real part of this offense in 2026. Yeah. Again, thinking back to Jalen Royals, like he went 133 last year. They drafted Jalen Royals higher than they drafted Cyrus Allen in those respective drafts. So I really thought, I mean, from the time we knew that the Chiefs were going to have a top 10 draft pick or be in the range of one, Carnell Tate was always my hope and dream. And obviously, he went higher than they were going to be able to move up to, and I don't think they needed to make that jump at the time. But that wide receiver need was really, really evident, I thought, right out of the gate. Even after they drafted Delane, I thought, okay, well, maybe they're going to be the team that makes the move up for a Casey Concepcion or somebody like that, because this Rasheed Rice thing changes nothing about the roster in 2027, because I was already assuming Rasheed Rice wouldn't be on the roster next season and that he'd end up having to go have his next act somewhere else. That roster right now is Xavier Worthy, Tyquan Thornton, and Jalen Royals, and Cyrus Allen now. But, I mean, you're talking about 2 guys there who have never caught a pass from Patrick Mahomes and 2 other guys who haven't caught a lot of them over these last couple of years.
Jalen Royals, a lot of them is doing some heavy lifting. I think 2? And I think, actually, no, he's caught 0. He's caught 0, right?
Right, exactly. No. Royals has 0 from Mahomes. Okay. I'm not sure he was active for a game that Mahomes was. He might have been and had a little special teams cameo. But, yeah, no, his 2 targets came in one of the last couple games of the season. He and Cyrus Allen have caught 0 passes for Mahomes. Worthy's obviously had his fair share. Tyquan Thornton played a third of the snaps last year. So there's so much unknown. And, again, that's even getting ahead to 2027. For this year, I don't want to put too many expectations on Cyrus Allen because I think I had too high of hopes for Royals last year. Do the Chiefs feel comfortable with Jalen Royals as wide receiver 4, much less wide receiver 3? That was the question I was asking before the draft, and now you're here wondering, again, not just is Rice going to have off-the-field stuff that keeps him off the field, is he going to be physically ready to go? Is he going to be physically 100% by the start of the season?
When you look at, I guess, if they don't sign a wide receiver, is your initial instinct that you take that as they trust in Tyquan, they trust in Worthy, they trust in Jalen Royals? Like, who is it that they're believing in the most if this is just the unit and they don't bring anybody else in?
Andy Reid. I think
they've been making on that the last couple of
shade.
years, and it hasn't been paying off. But okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, I wouldn't have him running routes necessarily, but I think it's a bet on Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and Chad O'Shea, and saying, hey, look, these guys, there was a ceiling that didn't get reached for Thornton and Worthy, and we're going to change some things up. And so many of the bets have been placed on the coaching staff last year being kind of the main issue that they changed, again, offensively. And then defensively, the roster looks very different. And I don't think that the Chiefs think that their wide receiver room is amazing. I don't think that they believe that Reid, Bieniemy, and Chad O'Shea have a super easy task ahead of them. But it's also, those are just the books. I mean, the contracts they have there, you're paying a lot of money to Chris Jones. Now you're paying a lot of money to Nick Bolton. You spend a lot of money on that offensive line that you've built up. So, like, right now, they're still going to have to do something just to get their rookies signed. I think with an uncapped league, I think Juwan Jennings should have been on this team a month ago. Yeah. But then the deal that he gets with the Vikings, that's a very fair deal for Juwan Jennings. I still think this team could really do to have Cam Jordan on the other edge opposite of George Karlaftis, and the money's just not there right now. You can do some restructuring things, but how much money do you want to move into the future? Can you add years for Creed Humphrey and negotiate that? Is there something in the works there, which is why we haven't heard about the top draft pick signing? So I just think the financial constraints are kind of, I don't want to say that it's forced the Chiefs' hand. I don't think that's necessarily right. But I think because there are financial constraints, you say, hey, we think that we can get more bang for our buck with the receiver room that we have right now, with a retooling, with a new position coach, a new returning offensive coordinator, and Andy Reid kind of working from the top of what he's got again. But all of that still hinged on having Rasheed Rice be a part of that room.
We're talking to Joshua Brisco here on 96.5 The Fan. We were looking at the AFC West a little bit and how jumbled the odds are for the Broncos, Chiefs, and Chargers to miss the playoffs. Who do you think is most likely? Look, they all three could make it, right? But who is most likely to miss the playoffs of that group?
It's really interesting because, I don't know what exactly the numbers are, but I think all three of them probably have relatively similar upside and downside. My heart wants to say the Broncos. I think the defense is probably good enough that they are going to at least be in that until the bitter end. I really think that the Chargers offensively is going to look a lot better. I think Mike McDaniel there is going to be a hoot. I think you're going to get another very, very strong regular season from Justin Herbert. But they've just sort of been cursed forever, and then you have to figure out what that defense looks like if McDaniel's able to rejuvenate the offense. Is that enough for that well-rounded team to be there as a playoff team? And then obviously all the Chiefs issues are stuff that we talk about every day, and they could win a Super Bowl because they have Patrick Mahomes, and they could miss the playoffs because they did it last year. And I didn't think it was possible, and then it happened last year. So I should probably with my brain say the Chargers just because that's the smart bet. But I really think the Broncos are due for a backslide of some extent. But again, I think your floor might be high enough with them because of that defense that they're definitely not going to stink. I think that's kind of where the offense might kind of stink, but they've got real weapons around Bo Nix now. And as much as I hate to say it, I think the Broncos are probably better odds there than the Chargers.
I didn't openly mock it, but I did question why everyone thought the one-score game thing was going to come get the Chiefs. Probably because they felt invincible up until that point. They've been to a billion Super Bowls. They went to every AFC title game. Do you think that that's more real now that you saw it get the Chiefs, I guess, as it relates to the Broncos?
In terms of one-score games specifically with the Broncos, or one-score games?
No, one-score games are as in the regression to the mean is coming for Denver in that regard.
Oh, yeah. No, I do believe that that's a thing worth noting. I mean, because you're talking about a sport that, at least for the moment, has 17 regular season games. So there is a lot of noise there. We see that on some level every year. It's why for so long, you saw the Super Bowl losing team wouldn't make the playoffs the next year. Like, there just is a lot of randomness. And I don't mean that it's truly random. The team you build gives you a better chance of winning those games. Yeah, absolutely. I think you can look at the reason and try to justify why your team is better in close games than your opponent's team. And I think having Patrick Mahomes is a absolute cheat code for that, because you when it comes down to the quarterback making the throw or having the right read or doing the right thing, something superhuman, you want to have the quarterback that's going to be the thing that helps you in those one-score games. I don't want Bo Nix to be that guy for me. If it's suddenly, if I'm down 4 and I've got the ball with 2 minutes left and Bo Nix is at the 25, I'm going to go ahead and bet on the defense in all likelihood. So I do think there will be single-score regression for the Broncos. I think those games really do. They're not completely random. You don't flip a coin, but there's a lot of noise in the way that we try to quantify how good these teams really are and how consistent they can be year over year.
We had Emmett Johnson on the show yesterday, of course, Chiefs 5th-round rookie running back, and he was getting set for OTAs next week, and we were trying to just figure out what we think the trust is going to be from the coaching staff towards a rookie running back. And I know Drew and Cody were highlighting 3rd-and-1 situations, and is that an opportunity for him based on what he did in college? What do you think that role actually could be for him? Because I think when I spend $14.5 million on Kenneth Walker gets the first crack at the 3rd-and-1 at the 2-yard line or the 3-yard line for me, at least.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think you have to start that way. But look, I mean, that's one position that we have seen take on a very large role in their rookie season, from Clyde Edwards-Helaire to Isaiah Pacheco. Like, if a rookie running back has the juice, he'll get the football. I still also think that Amari DeMarcado is a legitimate 3rd down back. Like, I actually still think he's kind of the number 2 guy on the depth chart in my visualization of it, at least, because I think that that's a really important role for him to be in. Kenneth Walker has never been the total full, not that anyone is at this point, Larry Johnson bell cow. Again, no one, we don't treat running backs like that anymore, and I think it's for the best. I think Kenneth Walker is setting your ceiling and raising your floor, but I think that you assume that he's probably going to miss a game or 2 along the way, because you kind of assume that most running backs are going to miss time at some point. I don't think the Chiefs are going to run the ball enough to have a 3-headed monster in the way that you think about that being. I do think Kenneth Walker needs to be effectively the bell cow here. But if Emmett Johnson is the guy that you can look to and just say, hey, if something happens to Walker, if he just needs a breather for some reason, we're not in a position where, all due respect to a guy that was coming back and had several injuries that set him back. When Clyde Edwards-Helaire was on the field for the Chiefs in this last stint, elevated off the practice squad wearing whatever number he was wearing then, when Clyde was in the backfield, you just thought, well, this can't be a handoff. Like, they just can't hand the football to him right now. He has some things he can do, but he can't just take it out of a shotgun run and then pick up a yard. And sometimes he did. But you're not in a position with Walker, DeMarcado, and Johnson. You're never in a position where you can't run the football. And really, with all 3 of those guys, you should never be in a position where the defense is certain that you are going to run the football. So I do think there's a little bit of redundancy there. And also, just kind of like Jalen Moore last year, you don't know how the board's going to fall until you actually get there and well through free agency. So, and look, again, if you want to start doing some big picture reassessing of the offseason, they gave Kenneth Walker a lot of real money that didn't go to an edge or to a wide receiver because they wanted to shore up that position, and it makes sense. If Emmett Johnson was in line to start week 1, I'd be excited. I actually do think he has the potential to give you what you need from a mid-level running back out of the gate. Clearly, they have just triple-dipped at that position, though, to say we are going to get the best guy available in Ken Walker. We're going to draft behind him with Emmett Johnson. Amari DeMarcado's on a 1-year deal, so Emmett Johnson is your second guy starting next season at the latest. I do think that they have done the Brett Veach thing in a lot of ways, where you say, hey, this position group was a huge weakness for us last year. Let's blow the doors off of it and completely rejuvenate it. It came at a premium with that Walker deal, but I think that's what they did relatively intentionally, and it seems like they loved Emmett Johnson throughout the entire process, and everything I've seen from him, he's seemed like an absolute a hoot and a guy you'd want to have on your football team. So I understand why they did it. It's just the money's always got to come from somewhere, and it means you can't be putting it in other position groups as well.
Joshua Brisco, appreciate it as always, man. Enjoy the rest of the summer before you're doing pre and post for Chiefs preseason game before we know it.
Guys, I keep looking at the baseball, and it doesn't seem like it's going well. What's happening there?
Yeah.
Can I do something to help?
Have you been to a game yet?
Not this season, no.
Okay. You go to one game and then see if you can turn the entire thing around.
And if they win, I'll go tarps off in a game. I'll get back to you guys. If they get blown out, I'm certainly not going to get any Hawaiian food today.
We're still talking about eating spaghetti at the K in July. You want to come with us for that?
I kind of do, but I think the hotter the weather gets, the less of a good idea that sounds like.
But that's what makes it a better idea. Do you see? Like
95 degrees, shoveling pasta out of a gallon bag. Yeah, all right, I'm in.
There you go. Joshua Brisco joining us here on 96.5, the Fan. He mentioned the Hawaiian food. I will say the Royals are what, 3-10, 3-11 since the
3-11
Hawaiian Bros promotion stopped. They have not. Look, they panicked. The Royals had 3 straight games or whatever it was, or 4 straight games of 6 runs, and they panicked, and they haven't scored 6 since.
That part should
flat
not
out panic move. You know,
They've
it's
been
the
cursed
hooly curse
since that hooly curse.
Yeah.
I mean, 3-11. You took this thing away from us, and now they can't win.
Yeah. I still had lunch.
Remember when there was
I like Hawaiian Bros, but I don't. The promotion thing. That's a bummer.
I gotta say, every once in a while, when something like catches wind for like 48 hours, and then because like I'm not even suggesting pasta to like solve this. I'm just like I'd like some levity in my life because the team's depressing.
We need him to win a little bit though, in order to even do the spaghetti thing.
Fine, but like I guess my point was. It's not a solution. I'm just saying let's do something together because right now, as a group to go out to the K, I don't have a good excuse for you. Remember for like 48 hours and people thought John Pork was going to save this season?
Yeah, that ran its course.
That didn't last either.
Yeah, that was fun for like a week or so, though.
That was
the
nice.
John Pork cards. That was cool.
Yeah, well designed.
The bullpen was good for like 10 days.
Oh. And
then back to reality.
And then since then, sadly, nothing.
All right, you want levity? Let's get to it.
Trash of the day.
I think you're going to enjoy this one. This is in Michigan. Okay, this is from a Fox TV affiliate. It had to do with a situation involving some tenants and a landlord, and they needed some repairs on their house.
Okay,
they were renting a home. Okay, and so you asked the landlord to come over.
My furnace tune-up's happening today. I get it.
And the landlord might say, "Hey, well, I'll stop by. You don't have to be there. You don't have to be at the home. I'll stop by. I'll fix whatever problems you got going on. Just, go on with your day."
Their landlord was supposed to be removing dead birds from the attic. Instead, he was giving a lesson on the birds and the bees on camera.
So right now, we're kind of standing at the scene of the crime.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys do? Did you clean before you...
Most definitely. My wife, she's germophobic, so I had to most definitely clean it before she even stepped in anywhere in this house, period.
It allegedly happened Monday in Westland while Javon Crawford and his wife were in the hospital with his sick grandma. His wife started getting alerts from their security cameras on her phone.
She just pointed the phone to me, and I seen him just doing what he was doing right here in our house.
Was it live?
It was live footage.
Oh my God.
Time stamped and everything.
Bonnet down, legs up for about an hour.
I'm wondering, too, if this guy's done this before. He seems so comfortable.
Too comfortable. So I know for a fact that somebody that comfortable, what else could be done?
That landlord has some explaining to do. We tracked him to his Canton Township home.
Is this you, naked in a tenant's home?
What? The Crawfords have handed that X-rated film over to police.
How hard is it going to be next month to cut that check to him?
It's going to be hard. I'm gonna probably write some languages on the back of the check for him to transfer to him.
A little special memo.
Yeah, special memo. Yeah.
So this is a real story from Michigan. Landlord goes to his tenant's home and is having sex.
Did you say for an hour?
For an hour.
Good for him, I guess.
And then he made a sandwich after. They got him on video. He went to the kitchen and made a sandwich after he had sex. And you heard him say
he got it in their fridge after too? Damn, that's doubly violating.
How big of a deep clean do you need of your house? If I told you that when you were out of town, somehow you knew that somebody else had sex in your house on the couch. Are you moving out of the house? Are you at least deep cleaning it?
It's just some random stranger? I don't know, man. You're never going to be able to look at your kitchen the same way again, or your bedroom, or whatever else.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Place it took place. Yeah. You're never going to be able to think of your place the same. Ever again.
I think the tenant is correct though. For him to be willing to do that and make it, he was way too. He's clearly done this somewhere else. Now, we don't know who the woman was. I don't know if that's his wife, his girlfriend, or whatever.
He can't just invite these people over to his place.
I don't know if that's this guy's thing that he
we
likes.
Don't kick shame on the show.
His thing.
He likes the risky behavior.
Yeah, if he likes the risk of getting caught. I don't know. Some people are like that. I'm not sure. What was the part in the news story where she said bonnets down, legs up? Where was that?
Who wrote that?
His
copy?
wife started getting alerts from their security cameras on her phone.
She just pointed the phone to me, and I seen him just doing what he was doing right here in our house.
Was it live?
It was live footage.
Oh my God.
Time stamped and everything.
Bonnet down, legs up.
Bonnet down, legs up.
Oh, man.
Is crazy thing to
Bonnet
write.
down, legs up.
For a story. Man.
For an hour.
By the way,
for an hour.
I still got to pay the guy?
Oh, that's the thing. That's what you said.
I can't dispute that one. I understand he still did the work.
Disputing
but
that.
at the
No
very
chance.
least,
Yeah,
I can
get out of
charge
here.
him like a rental fee for the usage of the space. We got to be able to call this thing a wash. You can't be
Someone's
charging
saying,
me
what
for the
law did he
service.
break? He owns the house. Yeah, but it's if you're a tenant, it still has to be. I mean,
Oh, I have protection against the landlord.
The landlord also just
coming to my house.
Can't just randomly go into your house and make a sandwich and have sex on your couch just because they own the property. If you're a tenant, there's got to be some sort of protection there.
You got to get a new couch if it was on the couch. If it's a new,
It was
if
on
it's
the couch. There's a screen. Like there's a screenshot
so
of the.
so they can clean the place, but I think you just get a new couch. That one's burned.
Well, yeah, because for obvious reasons, you can't sit on that couch ever again.
No.
Yeah.
Could you imagine every time you just sit down and try to watch a TV show?
Nope.
It wouldn't even. I'm not even kidding. It wouldn't have made it the day. It'd be on my curb that night. I'm done with it. I'm never sitting on that couch again.
Someone says protection. You say, yeah, tenant protection. I don't know about if everything else was.
This
good.
is why some
Yeah.
people won't buy like some used furniture. Like I'd never buy a used, but like you might not want to buy a used couch, Cole, because you don't know.
Hell no.
You don't know how many times people have, done anything on that.
For about an hour.
But knowing it is different. Knowing it is different. That just adds a whole nother complication to it. Again, I can't get for an hour.
Drew sold his couch on Facebook Marketplace.
But we don't know if Drew's a sex on the couch person. We don't know. Hard to say.
Come on now. He's never had sex on his couch.
I don't know. I don't know how long you even had the couch.
Never. I'm calling BS on that.
In an apartment, you're that close to the bed. Maybe just go to the bed.
Yeah, Drew's quiet over there. I don't know.
We'll just have to speculate wildly instead.
Yeah, you just got to speculate.
That's not a no. That's not a no.
It's not either. Go ahead and speculate.
I would try to get out of my lease at that house. I would move to. I wouldn't want that. I also wouldn't want to. I also
think
wouldn't
you
want
should
to
be allowed to break your lease.
I also would not want to communicate with that landlord again. Like just the awkwardness and all of it all together. Like no. We're not continuing
Especially
this.
if it's like a small landlord. Like I can't even call you if like the garbage disposal's broken, right? If it's like they come to the house to fix it versus a large, conglomerate company. Gold, like maybe just one maintenance guy comes to your apartment. Fine, there's a million maintenance persons.
Yeah,
people send somebody
Does this
else.
make you guys change? Does this make you rethink your arrangements when going on vacation?
Someone says, "Yeah, what do you think happens at a
Airbnb?
Happens at a hotel bed or whatever?"
Same thing. Same thing.
It's different.
It is different.
Is it though?
It is different.
It's the knowing.
Yeah.
If before I went to my hotel room, they made me watch a video of someone else having sex in the bed, that'd be a problem.
No, but in fairness,
versus if I just go to the room, I don't have to think about
And
it
you're
at
only
all.
you're only in the hotel for that couple days. The fact this
Much
happens
more violating in your home.
Yeah,
as
it's in
well.
your house. That's a couch that you're gonna sit on for the next 3 years. Versus the hotel, you're there for one night, and I think everybody just has an understanding. You just don't think about that.
Yeah, but
you
the
don't
sheets
think
get
about
clean.
that.
Or
You
the
don't have to
couch at
clean
the Airbnb.
What's that?
Yeah, but the sheets and the hotel get cleaned. You don't know if the bed if the couch
I
gets
get
cleaned
it.
at an Airbnb.
Look, it's a risk. It's a risk. Just
Cody,
like
you slept on a couch in Pittsburgh.
I
I
have.
slept on a bed.
I
didn't want to think about anybody else potentially of being there before
It
us.
doesn't feel as personally violating as your home. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the place you live. You got to live in every day. For the 2 days I'm at a hotel, I just don't think about it.
Yeah,
For the,
you
for
can't.
the 3 days you're at the Airbnb. Because if you did, well, then, like if you had real issues and you were like a germaphobe, and I imagine that's just like you bring your own set of sheets or something. I don't know. I got nothing for you. But like in your house, that's crazy. Gold, if you, like the maintenance people have to come over to your apartment sometimes, right? And change a filter or something.
Yeah.
Like if you found out later you had a Ring camera and they were having sex in your apartment, you'd be like, what the hell?
I would either try to break their lease or I'm getting months of rent for free.
What's the amount if they said how many months free before you'd stop fighting the lease break?
If I caught a maintenance worker having sex on my couch,
They said, hey, you can't sue us. We'll give you 6 months free. Are you staying?
yeah.
But
I'm
do you want a
getting
new couch?
I'm getting a new couch. I'm taking some of the money I saved on not paying rent, and I'm getting a new couch.
Immediately.
But I'll take this.
a nice couch for
yeah.
6 months
and
rent,
have money left over.
You get a really nice couch.
Absolutely. All right, that's the trash of the day. Up next, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Some underrated landing spots for some free agents.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
We are still in the month of May. That means you have time to head over to Shawnee Mission Ford and take advantage of employee pricing. You're going to pay what they pay right now at Shawnee Mission Ford. So that's for everybody, whether it's a 2026 Mustang Mach-E like I'm driving right now, thanks to Shawnee Mission Ford, or a Bronco Sport, of course, the great F-150, or maybe a 2026 Ford Escape. It's going on right now at Shawnee Mission Ford. Employee pricing, you pay what they pay, and you still get all the rebates and the incentives that are offered from Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford. We're talking about American value for American values. At Shawnee Mission Ford, they're on a mission to do more in 26.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Pool days call for cookouts and lots of laundry. This Memorial Day at Lowe's, save $80 on a Charbroil Performance Series 4-burner gas grill, now just $199. Plus, get up to 45% off select major appliances to keep dishes, clothes, and food fresh. Having fun in the sun is easy with us in your corner. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See associate or Lowe's.com for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Some of you are still texting in about that trash of the day. In fact, we just got a text from someone with a story that is right up snitch line material. And we do have a snitch line today around 1:10. So I'm going to bookmark, I guess I should say.
This story?
This story that someone texted in.
All right.
That they witnessed happen in Southwest Missouri.
It can lead off the snitch line
I think it's
later
going
at 1:15.
Yeah, I got to find out how I can make sure I don't lose track of this one in particular.
Just copy it off of there and put it into the rundown.
Yeah, well, it's a multiple text thread,
I see.
but I will save it in a separate document or something so we have it. But it's a doozy. Let me tell you, if you like that trash of the day, well, this one has a little more of a local flair to it that somebody texted in about. It's definitely more snitch line material, I would say.
Thankfully, never been caught having sex in my life. I don't need that in my world.
I have not been caught either. Yeah.
I had a close call or two, I would say. But, that you can handle.
Yeah, Cody's told us more than we need to know before about him in a concession stand at a park.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like a food violation,
Absolutely.
I've always been respectful of my surroundings, so I've never been close to being caught. I'm aware of the situation.
Respectful of my surroundings is a nice way to put it.
That's, yeah, fair enough.
I don't want to interfere with anybody else's life. You don't need to interfere with mine. So there we go.
Respectful of my surroundings. Yep. Does that mean he's just smart about, or
yes,
or anti that behavior? Oh boy, good times.
Oh,
you know what, though?
No, we're never anti. We are aware of not.
We pay attention to what we're up to. Yeah, there you go. Smart. Yes. Like I said, almost. Not actually. That's a slightly different energy.
So snitch line 110. If you enjoyed the trash of the day, come back with us around 110, please.
Yeah.
Let's talk some Chiefs football. It is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. You were keeping an eye on some free agents that are out there.
Yeah, I think it's interesting over at Bleacher Report. They put the underrated locations for free agent wide receivers, who we know the Chiefs would be interested in. We'll talk more about the Chiefs wide receiver situation here in a minute as it relates to Brett Veach and how we disagree on that a little bit. But I want to put out a couple of these teams they've mentioned for the possible free agents, not just wide receivers, who are out there in the unlikely landing spots and how this would impact the Chiefs. First off, Stephon Diggs. We know his name's been mentioned. Multiple NFL reporters have mentioned the possibility of him in Kansas City. Their underrated fit for him is Tennessee. I guess for this perspective, I don't care. Sure, fine. Go to Tennessee and let Cam Ward throw you the ball. They're not a player in this thing unless he takes a huge developmental leap forward this year. Tennessee does not have the horses in order to take some step forward. I thought Calvin Ridley might have a good year last year. I thought Cam Ward played better at the end of the season as the season went on, but he's going to have to take a huge leap forward for that to matter, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the Titans will be better. Robert Saleh, I think, certainly improves that defense immediately. I think they're going to be a pretty good defensive unit in Tennessee. Carnell Tate, the top pick to go in that room. Cam Ward, we could probably have a longer conversation about him as we get closer to the season. He is somebody that nobody really talks about at all. I don't know if it's because he's in Tennessee. It's because he's, wasn't impressive to start. Was
much
better.
Number one overall pick. He pretty much is a ghost.
Was much better the final, let's call it 6 weeks of last season. Was much, much better. So we'll see how he starts this season. But yeah, he just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Nobody really talks about him. I think the Titans can be better. Now I don't think they're making the leap like, going to the Patriots route where all of a sudden
you don't think they're going first to worst?
No, but I mean, I have to look at the Titans' schedule. Could they be an 8 or 9 win football team if everything went right? I think so. I'd have to go look at the schedule.
If they brought Stephon Diggs in, is that room better than the Chiefs? Carnell Tate, Calvin Ridley, and Stephon Diggs?
Ridley to me is just name only, but yeah, it still would be.
But Ridley's better than Thornton even in name only. I mean,
at this point,
his career is quite a bit better than Thornton's, even at this stage.
Career has. I'm just saying, like where he's at. Remember, last year Calvin Ridley played in 7 games and had 300 yards. So yes, career-wise, prior to that, he was 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
But if you just doubled and said 14 for 600, that's better than Thornton's.
I just don't know what Ridley is anymore. Like he's 30. He's got to be 32 years old and.
He's probably a 700 or 800 yard. It's like Keenan Allen. It's still better than most just run-of-the-mill, everyday wide receivers. They're not moving it. The Chargers got listed as a surprise fit for Tyreek Hill. That I'd hate. I don't
With
need
Mike
him.
McDaniel, that's the connection.
Well, they already
making.
got it. Like, the only thing they're short on offense is wide receivers. I don't like their weapons, at least. I haven't seen enough growth from Ladd stalled out, Quentin Johnson stalled out. Like,
Quentin Johnson actually had his best year of his NFL career.
Sure, but like I felt like he stalled at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have specified more. But like as they went on in the year, it's like I don't know if that unit's growing tremendously. They didn't add a ton of talent in the draft. I don't need them finding some week 8 find on offense to pair with the rest.
Did
and
Tyreek
figuring
Hill
out a
and-
way to do it?
Do we know, did Tyreek Hill and McDaniel, like, they get along?
That's a good question.
'Cause that's
I mean,
the
he
connection.
put up some huge numbers there. So you would think that he's not anti-Mike McDaniel's offense. He had almost 2,000 yards receiving 1 year under Mike
'Cause
McDaniel. So he's got to like some part of it.
McDaniel has the OC in LA. He goes and they go and sign David Njoku. So they're going to run multiple tight end sets. They have Gadsden and Njoku. I'm with you on their wide receiver room. That would be an interesting spot. That would be maybe the biggest competition. Let's say the Chiefs truly want to bring back
Gotta be some
Tyreek Hill.
competition, yeah.
I would feel like the Chargers would be bigger competition only because of the familiarity with Mike McDaniel.
Tyreek Hill yards per game, which, you know, is probably as good of an indicator as any in Miami. 100.6, which was a career high, by the way, by 8 full yards. 112.4 in his career, where he had 1,799 yards. 56 in year 3 in a full 17-game schedule, came up short of 1,000, and back up to 63 yards, or 66 yards per game in the 4 games he played for Miami last year. So I would just think he had enough success under McDaniel, unless he really hated the guy, that he wouldn't be at least looking at that as a possibility. So I don't want to, like, rule that out. Then they mentioned Joey Bosa as a San Francisco 49er, I guess to pair with his brother.
Yeah.
And then Jonnu Smith is a New York Giant. Those are the 4 that they had mentioned as being the most prominent, I felt. Like the other one was an offensive tackle who I don't think matters for the Chiefs conversation.
Right. Okay. Yeah, the 2 obvious ones are the wide receivers and Diggs and Tyreek Hill to keep an eye on. I still just think with the Tyreek Hill scenario, everybody might just be waiting till the middle of the season, and it's like the Odell Beckham Jr. thing from a couple years back, where he just joins whoever's a contender at that point, whoever's off to a good start, whoever feels like they got an injury or a fit, all of a sudden he just get assigned with some contender if he's even available. Again, the knee stuff with Tyreek Hill, it kind of reminds me of that. And if we think schedule wise, the Chiefs have an opportunity to get off to a good start because the back half of the schedule is, on paper looks so difficult. You would think the Chiefs, if we're just talking about record-wise, who's more likely 6 weeks into the season to have a better record, the Chiefs or the Chargers? I think it's the Chiefs just because of the schedule.
Yeah, even though the Chiefs or the Chargers' first 2 games are kind of soft, but the Chiefs' first 6 games are genuinely significantly easier than the other side of it. I guess that's just kind of where, like, as I look at some of these free agents, it's like maybe there's a secret one that I'm not thinking about with the Chiefs. Like I saw Jonnu Smith, and I was like, that's not a player I'd even at any stage thought about. But at the same time, I don't think it would hurt him to have an extra. I don't think it would hurt them to have an extra tight end. Like that goes back to the Noah Gray conversation.
Yeah,
we had.
say a lot about Noah Gray, though.
Fine, but like maybe something has to be said about him. He had his worst year of his career by a mile. Now their offense was bad, and they were hurt, and a million other things. And he was coming back from that injury at some point when he got knocked, I think, unconscious. It was pretty ugly, at least on that end. So like, I mean, it's okay. Sometimes we say like it'll say something about it. Good. Sometimes something has to be said about a player. It's the same thing as if they brought in if the Royals brought in a left fielder or brought in a starter or brought in a bullpen guy. I was like, well, it says something about their bullpen. Yeah, that their bullpen stinks, and I know it. And that they should probably find additional arms that can help them get there. As the tight ends right now, somebody had asked, I don't remember, maybe it was on social. I can't remember. Maybe it was Arid Pride or Arid Addict or maybe another one from How About Those Chiefs. I don't remember.
Right.
But it was somebody saying, where does the Chiefs tight end room stack up in the AFC West or in the NFL? And the thing is, because they have Travis Kelce, and there are only like 5 tight ends in the NFL good for 750 or more yards, or 7 maybe, if you're saying everybody's healthy for the entire year, it's one of the top 10 no matter what, by default, because they have Travis Kelce even at his age, even if it's Noah Gray and these other guys that you don't trust, and Jared Wiley and whoever. It's top 10 just because they have Travis Kelce. But if they had Travis Kelce and Jonnu Smith, it's one of the better ones in the NFL. Because now you can operate multiple deep that I actually trust and know that those guys have produced. I was Noah Gray on there's guys because they matter more. Noah Gray easily, I think, had the most disappointing season, like top 5 most disappointing season out of any Chief last year. Maybe Charles Omeni, who was higher, or some of these other guys, but no, if we were ignoring impact, I'm just saying like expectation versus reality.
Xavier Worthy was
Yeah, Worthy because of the injury and the number. Worthy, I would say Chris Jones. I would put Mike Dana there. I put Charles Omenihu on the list. I'd put Isaiah Pacheco on. There's a lot of guys I guess I would put on the list.
They won 6 games.
It's a 6-win season. Yeah, it's a long list, unfortunately.
On defense, it is. It's harder to have
Harrison Butker.
Yeah.
I mean, add him to that list.
Yeah, he's on there. He might have had a bigger impact. What was his kick percentage last year? Did he get it above 90 again?
I don't remember.
I don't want to spend a bunch of time. He's. I view him the same way as I view Rasheed or anything else. Like, whatever your contract is, that's how long you're on the team, and then I'm not interested anymore. He made 86.8% of his field goals.
33 to 38.
Which I'm going to guess is 15th in the NFL.
Yeah. But he's paid first, right?
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Or I guess not anymore.
Not after what's his name just got a deal. Aubrey got a nice deal because he's been awesome.
What do you think? What do you think that was good for last year? 80 whatever percent.
Top 12.
Top 12?
Yeah, I'll say he was 16th.
I'll look it up right now. Oh, this is. I got to find a way to sort it so it's qualified because I don't care that Lucas
for one field goal. Yeah,
made 1. I'm going to count on anybody who made over 10 field goals. How about that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, I already have your answer, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, okay, great.
I decided. Wait, 21st.
Ugh. And that's, by the way, where he's ranked over the last 5 years. He's been like 25th or 21st pretty much the entire time. He had 1 year that he was above that. All the other years he was below that.
His whole story is in the which they weren't in the postseason last year. His story.
He's been a great postseason
when it comes
kicker,
to postseason clutch kicks, the dude is nails.
I just don't think he's the same anymore.
And maybe that's the case, but it has been more about in the clutch moments, does he make the biggest kicks possible? And that's what he has done throughout his career. Now, maybe he's not going to do that anymore. We'll see if they have a big moment or two this next season. Hopefully it's in the playoffs again, and hopefully it's a spot where he will make said kick. But last year when you don't have the postseason and then your percentage is that, yeah, it's going to stand out way more. So we'll see. I mean, he's what, 30? He turns 31 in 2 months.
Whatever his contract is,
is it just 1 more year?
But technically he has 2 years after this year on his contract. But the next one is an official, like you could get out of it. They could for $3 million.
After this year, they could cut him and just eat $2.8 million.
Because they might be in a situation where it's like if it's that bad again, it's like, or if he misses a field goal to win a game and it's a costly one, you're just gonna have to draft a kicker in like the 6th or 7th round and move on from it.
I think what you do, the way kickers work, is what I think you do this year is you start sowing the seed of, oh, we just brought in a second kicker for camp, just to, take a look.
And
then Harrison Butker wins
that.
a job, and then next year you actually make it an open competition, and think about saving yourself $3 million.
I asked Nate Taylor about would they bring in somebody. He said, nah. He's like, they're basically, he doesn't think they're bringing in anybody during camp from a kicking perspective to go with it. He's like, unless you're just trying to embarrass the guy or something.
Well, yeah, but he might need it.
But I don't think they're doing that.
But no, they're not. There's a 0.001% chance he's not the kicker this year for the Chiefs.
Agreed.
It cost him more money to cut him than to keep him. I'm not saying he should be, or that they regret that contract or any of that stuff. That's not even the argument we're making. Just based on his contract figure and his cap hit, he's on the team. He makes $7.3 million.
And he doesn't have an agent. He reps himself, so he gets all that money.
Only one kicker was drafted this year, by the way. Trey Smack is replacing.
What a name!
He was replacing Brandon McManus, who was really bad for the Packers.
Trey Smack.
He was picked in the 6th round.
Doesn't sound like a kicker at all. No. Needs to be a defensive lineman or a safety. Yeah. Something like that.
You're going to be something outside of that. He is still average annual per year, the 3rd highest paid kicker in the NFL.
In the last 10 years, nobody's made bigger
kicks.
Fairbairn
and Brandon Aubrey.
He got paid for a reason, though. I mean, in the last decade, nobody has made bigger kicks on a regular basis than he has.
I think the only thing I argue against it is you can't just find a kicker on the street. I'm like, yes, you can. Harrison Butker was on the street. Nick Folk was the most accurate kicker in the NFL last year. He was on the street. Kickers get found on the street all the time. That's not even that hard. Was Brandon Aubrey even a drafted player? I don't know. I don't pay any attention to when those guys come in the league.
I'm not sure.
Drew, do you know? Was he just an undrafted free agent?
How old is he?
I don't
because
know,
for some reason
Brandon Aubrey's 31, so he definitely was off the street.
Yeah, he probably wasn't
last season. Yeah,
he was in the USFL.
Yeah.
I mean, he was with the Birmingham Stallions.
It doesn't look like he was drafted. Somehow
he was drafted in the first round of the MLS draft in 2017.
Was he really?
Yep.
He
good for him.
Went to the USFL for a year or two.
He was not drafted in the
signed
NFL.
by the.
That's the thing about kickers. So Aubrey was playing for the USFL. He's a former guy. Harrison Butker was on the Carolina Panthers practice squad. Like the best kicker, Nick Folk last year was on the street. It's like Cairo Santos was an outcast from the Chiefs. He's been one of the most league's accurate kickers over the last 5 years. You can find kickers.
Going back, Harrison Butker was selected in the 7th round in 2017 by the Panthers.
Yeah. And then he was able to get stolen because they weren't going to spend, at that time, you only had 8 practice squad spots, Drew. And they weren't going to spend a practice squad spot protecting Harrison Butker in the middle of the season. Was that the year Santos got hurt?
I think so.
And then eventually lost the job to him. Let's talk a little bit about players
enough about the kickers, dang it.
who aren't available right now. That is Rasheed Rice. And you and I disagreed a little bit, and I want to bring the conversation back around for those who missed it earlier, 913-586-7965. I think that this showed a lack of forethought from Brett Veach in the draft to use one of the first 5 or 6 selections he had in this year's draft between trades and actual players they selected. Not a single one was used on wide receiver. And in my mind, it was like, but that was an obvious need. How did you not think you needed a wide receiver? And to me now, it's like, well, it looks worse now because now you have a player who's in trouble again. Part of your plan, I assume, was, well, we have these guys, but also we'll have Rice this time. And he'll probably be available week 1, but will he make it through 17 games next year? Well, how the hell can I be sure about that? How can I be sure that Rasheed Rice will be available for 17 games? The guy hasn't been available readily since his rookie season. And so I go back to the draft. I'm like, you should have taken a wide receiver with one of those picks. You should have not traded up and used a pick. You should have used one of the many picks you used on the defensive line. Maybe instead of candidate, somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it has to be. I'm not like against, this is the weird part. I'm not against Delane or Woods or R. Mason Thomas as individual players and where they were selected. I'm against that you took all of them instead of taking a wide receiver with one of those picks.
I think a lot of people wanted to take a wide receiver months ago.
I did too. This only strengthens it.
I don't think this Rasheed Rice probation violation should now be see, this is why Brett Veach made a mistake in the draft. I disagree with that. Look, you can't trust Rasheed Rice. I don't disagree. We've been saying that for months. He's someone that continues to make dumb decision after dumb decision, and I don't expect him on this team after this season. With that said, I don't think this is going to impact the 2026 season. I understand he had a knee procedure. I understand he's behind bars right now, okay?
Yeah, and that might affect
we are still
his
90 days
return.
away from the season, at least. And so I don't think it should now be like, see, this is why they needed to draft a receiver. We were talking about signing a veteran receiver weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, I guess what I'm saying is I don't think anything has changed for this year. Maybe it was the final nail in the coffin for the Chiefs or others to say, all right, we really can't move forward with him beyond this year. Maybe this was the last straw for some people.
But that's the other part of it that's like you should have been planning ahead because there's a chance
but I think
maybe
next
in the back of the head.
offseason, Cody, I think next offseason, I've been saying this going back to pre-draft, I think next offseason they're either going to trade for a receiver, spend premium draft capital, or big-time free agent money on a receiver next year. I don't think anything that has happened here in the last 5 days with Rasheed Rice changes anything about how Brett Veach should have handled the wide receiver room.
But that's how you handle it versus maybe what their plan was. Because you and I both admitted that had Rasheed Rice just stayed clean this year, put up big numbers, they were going to be tempted to give him a contract. So I still think that going into the draft, they still thought part of their future plan could be Rasheed Rice. Going into the draft, part of the reason you don't take one long-term is, well, we might still have a long-term guy in Rasheed Rice. And the answer is, after you got in trouble again, you don't.
Or a question we don't have.
Did.
Or a question we don't have the answer to, and I don't know if we ever will. Is or do they not like some of the receivers? We know they like Carnell Tate. He was never going to be there at 6 for them, And so, as much as we could say, why didn't you draft one at 29? We'll never get the answer. But no, seriously though. I mean, I don't know. You don't know either. None of us know. Like at 29, we can say, there was this receiver on the board, but I don't know.
There was 0 they liked.
They didn't draft one of their first 4 picks.
No, I know.
So I mean, there wasn't someone they loved. I know that. Like that part is true.
Concepcion wasn't available. I was trying to remember which wide receivers were available in that second round. First pick of the second round was Deshaun Stribling, so I guess technically he was available, although people were surprised.
The people thought that was a reach.
Yeah.
Bills,
Denzel
right?
Boston at 39, but again, that would have required, and this goes back to the Mansour Delane. Man, this is where it'd be really helpful to be a soothsayer, and unfortunately for Brett Veach, he does not have that option, so I'm not going to, that's not what I'm dinging him on here. But it's like you and I both said at the time, it's like, I probably would have just taken the chance and hoped that he was there at 9. And all these other teams who were talking about all these other players that they weren't as serious about Mansour as you were. And could you have made it 3 more picks and then had an additional second round, had the extra, or, have the pick that you gave up to move up and have that available to you in order to select that wide receiver in there. Or, it's the same thing. You take R. Mason Thomas, but instead of the Peter Woods pick, you do this. At the time, I thought, that was my biggest takeaway from the draft was, I'd have probably taken a wide receiver before the 5th.
And that's fine, and I don't totally
disagree. So, I feel stronger about it now.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, I don't have an issue with that, and I kind of was with you on draft. I'm just saying that I've seen a lot of reaction post this probation violation. Like, now this is what it's not changing 2026.
I know, but it goes to the broader point of what the hell are you doing? Like, are you doing anything to address wide receiver? Because you don't have any answers right now. And I'm not saying ever. There's been a 2nd-round pick on Rice and a 1st-round pick on Xavier Worthy. But what is the last couple of year plan at addressing wide receiver? And it's been Juju can come back and no draft picks. It's like, no, you probably want to take somebody because Rice can't stay on a football field and Worthy hasn't developed to the level of wide receiver you thought he'd be up to this point. And so, for a 2nd year in a row, they just ignored it in the draft. And I think it looks worse now because maybe there was some back of your mind thought that Rasheed Rice, when he's on the field, is like an 1,100-yard guy. All we got to do is keep him on the field. You know what? No big deal. We can keep Rice out of trouble. And I don't know what the solution to that is. I saw people making all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, he's just got to live at EB's house for the season. It's like, that ain't going to happen. That's a grown-ass man.
He's 26 years old.
Yeah, he's got to
give me a break.
He's just got to take care of himself.
Yeah.
Get a therapist. Figure out why you keep doing this destructive things.
No, he's got a lot of time to think by himself in a jail cell right now.
Yeah. What's number 29s? I got to look up some
What were you
I was going to say how many
about?
days until how many player jersey away until Rasheed Rice? How long's he been in so far? 2 days?
Monday, right? Or the 19th. What day?
How's it work when this is a question for
the Tuesday
lawyer out there? You go to court, you get put in jail that day. Does that count as a full day, half day? Day?
I don't know.
What do you guys think?
That's a fair question. I don't know.
If you go to jail at 1:00 in the afternoon, Drew, do you think it's like a half day of jail, full day of jail? How do you think that works in the?
I don't think they do.
I have to
days.
serve.
I don't think
30.
they do half days. Is my guess.
If you wanted to go off at 29 yesterday, Xavier Nwankpa from Iowa is number 29 currently.
Days
on the
away.
roster. Yes.
Until he's
a rookie from Iowa.
I still think there's a chance he'll get out earlier, but that's also not the point. Someone on the text line earlier said the same
just
thing.
a quick Google search says again. This is Google. Arriving in jail at 1 generally counts as a full day towards time served in all U.S. jurisdictions.
I think it should be if I have to sleep there. Like if I got to do an overnight, that should count.
Makes sense that
I don't care if it's like 9:00 at night, but if it's lights off and I'm in the bed, I think that should count as a day.
It makes full day. You don't start getting to half days. Like what do you do? You just make it easier for everybody. Full
you can
day.
Get out after lunch today.
The only exception it says is confinement sentences where you're talking about weekend only programs and stuff where you go in for the weekend, you get back out.
No, you got to show up by a certain time.
Yeah.
That's also what he maybe could have gotten. He might have never had to go to jail. That's the thing. Yeah. Like someone who's like, I wasn't going to be. The biggest excuse I see from people defending him, which I don't understand defending him in really any capacity, which is he wasn't going to be available for OTAs anyway. He's recovering from the knee injury. I could have still gone to a meeting or rehabbed his knee at the team facility, not asking his bunkie if he'll read off the next stretch.
Yeah.
No,
I agree. Someone says from experience, if you get there at 9, it counts as a full 9 p.m. It still counts as a full day.
Okay.
All right. Good to know. File that one away. Good to know.
I think if I have to sleep in prison, if I got to close my eyes on a prison.
Do you think you'd be able to sleep the first night? Be honest.
No.
Would you sleep?
Not the first night. Second night, you'd just be too tired. You'd have to. But the first night, no. I think I'd try. Wouldn't you try?
Uncomfortable bed, mind racing, noise.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think, yeah. Seems unlikely.
Someone says, unless you ate breakfast, doesn't count as a full day. Coming from an ex-jailer, LMAO.
Seems like we're getting conflicting reports here.
We are now.
It probably also state by state. Jail by jail. Don't we think that there's probably some variance in this?
This time starts when the door is locked behind you. When it gets real. I don't know, man. That's the Chiefs Red half hour. What do we cover there? Kicking, jail.
We covered a lot of stuff.
We got a lot covered during the Chiefs Red half hour.
Good. Productive.
Up next, we'll get to what's trending. We'll get back into the Royals and what the 10-game under 500 mark means for the future of a couple players.
What's up, KC? It's Carter Jensen. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
FanDuel's giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. Maybe you're locked in the Western Conference Finals last night. We got Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final coming up tonight with more ways to build and more value every time you play. You can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup in every moment, from the spreads to player points to threes and more. Build it all into one same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, bet them on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check those stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one app. Don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/local and bet your same-game parlays. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I love a girls' weekend, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin, thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
You can usually find me in the kitchen, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm still in the mix with Skyrizi to treat my joint symptoms.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe at 4 months.
Or if you're an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The Cody and Gold Garage Sale benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is on Wednesday, June 10th on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti,
Number one on what's trending, the Royals, of course, got swept by the Boston Red Sox yesterday. They are now 20-30, the low water mark of the season. Hopefully, this is as low as it gets, but not so sure that's going to be the case. 8.5 games back as well, if you're actually paying attention to the standings. They're off today. Mariners in town on Friday. Noah Cameron gets the nod. 6:40 first pitch here on 96.5 The Fan.
Let's hope that the losing streak ends tonight. The hooly curse, as you called it.
Well,
earlier.
they're off, so they can't lose today. You're right.
Oh,
they
yeah,
can't, they
hooray!
can't lose today.
Well,
that is true.
It doesn't stop necessarily the losing, but it stops it for today.
Yeah.
Told you they needed a rain out. They didn't get that at all this week. Next up on What's Trending, Thunder get game 2 against the Spurs last night. And what was a close game? Spurs just didn't have quite enough fight there late. Game 3 will be Saturday in that series, all knotted up. We'll also get game 2 tonight of Knicks and Cavs. That'll take place tonight at 7:30. Knicks currently up 1-0 in that series, obviously, after their come-from-behind overtime victory against the Cavaliers just 2 nights ago.
Other news in the NFL, Eagles' Nolan Smith was arrested after allegedly driving 135 miles an hour in Georgia. Yeah, 135 miles an hour. Reckless driving, speeding charges.
Guess where he went to school.
Raising questions about possible NFL discipline. Yes, Drew. He definitely did go to the University of Georgia. That is definitely the case.
Yeah, lead foot class in Georgia.
135 miles an hour.
I will say, I've driven
in a 70 at 10:40 at night this past Friday.
The last time I drove 100 miles an hour was in Georgia. Everyone drives like a gajillion miles an hour outside of Atlanta.
It's that Atlanta traffic, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was
never been to Atlanta.
I felt like I was driving dangerously. I was driving like 80 there for at least a stretch of time. It was years and years and years ago. Next up on What's Trending, Joey Chestnut will defend his hot dog championship while on probation.
Okay.
He had
I'm sure Pink's thrilled.
He had to get judges' permission to leave the state. He's currently serving 120-day probation for slapping a bar patron in Ohio a couple of months back. He pled to those charges, took probation, but he got permission so he can go defend his hot dog championship.
What's Trending is just turning into like a crime report. It's the blotter, like whatever. Jeez.
Well, I didn't even know. Did you know Joey Chestnut had slapped a guy?
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
What did the guy say to him? Like,
Have some
did the guy
self-control,
like
Joey.
argue with him and challenge him to eating food and called him not a real champion? Was this Jay Binkley defending Chestnut there?
I guess it was
or
just a day ago he pled guilty to battery, as according to the court documents. It says officers reviewed video footage of the bar shows Chestnut slapping the man in the face directly after shaking his hand. So I don't know what he said.
What? What?
We still don't know what was said.
It says Chestnut said he did not recall the incident, claimed he slapped the victim's face in a fun way. However, the officer showed him the footage and said, that did not look nice. There was something
What
he
a lame
said.
excuse. Come on, man.
Yeah, I know about you guys. When I'm at a bar drinking with someone, I slap people in a fun way. Yeah, that happens all the time.
He was ordered to pay a $189 fine and will have and get probation. So
Okay.
it's all suspended.
Slapping people in the face.
He technically got sentenced to 180 days in jail. It's all suspended. So
Same thing. Don't violate probation.
Don't violate probation for the next 180 days, and he'll never have to go to jail.
His probation says you cannot eat actually more than 20 hot dogs.
Tough.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? He's got to throw the thing. You know, probation should be about learning your lesson. Could you imagine if his probation was only 100 hot dogs this month?
Lastly, on What's Trending, Ed Orgeron. Yeah, the former LSU head coach is back in Baton Rouge. He's returning to LSU as an assistant, a special assistant for Lane Kiffin's staff. We all know Coach O led that historic national champion LSU team back in 2019. But he's back. I thought he said he was just going to go to Destin, Florida and retire and hang out with everybody. He apparently got bored.
Hey, he's going to send him to some kid's couch and try to convince him to.
That's what they should do.
Come play. I will say, if there doesn't end up being a 30 for 30 made about this current LSU coaching staff, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
That is a cast of characters. That could be an e-reality show, and I think people would watch it. Like, genuinely.
Lane Kiffin just needs to not be. I mean, this obviously is football related, but he just needs to not do any more interviews, talking until media days. He just needs to stop.
Yeah, probably. But also, that's not.
Especially after what recently came out with the Vanity Fair stuff. Just stop, please.
Wait, what came out on Vanity Fair?
He was on the cover or something?
He reasoned that part of him leaving Ole Miss was due to issues
there's
recruiting
racial
players
elements.
due to the past
The
of Ole
racist
Miss.
in the state,
Although
right? Isn't that what you're saying?
everybody, as they should have, did some digging as to why LSU is called the Tigers and found out they're not removed from any of it as well. If you look at just the Deep South in general and a lot of these teams, Tennessee Volunteers, there's a reason they're named the Volunteers. You can go look it up yourself.
Fair enough.
But, he also coached at almost 6 years before, apparently having this epiphany that he needed to leave.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
also is a bad look for Lane Kiffin. He
That's
needs
just
to stop talking.
This is Lane Kiffin, though, man.
Yeah.
This
Don't
is-
forget, by the way, Wednesday, June 10th, the Cody and Gold garage sale as we continue to lock in more experiences. I have a Dusty Likens one on the books now. Gold, what do you think? You and Dusty Likens hanging out together? That could be you. Not you, but somebody else. You can hang out with Dusty, I guess, whenever you want.
That could be you.
You, the listener. You could be hanging out with Dusty Likens. We like to do experiences with people in the show. Golf with the producers has been regular. Alex and I, Jay Rieger. We'll have lots of different stuff available to you. Stuff will start going up on the site, or is going up on the site now. It'll become visible to you here soon. That way, starting on June 10th, 7 a.m., you'll have a chance to bid on all the different items. All the different stuff. Listener, drop by an item today.
Yep.
You're going to have to compete with me for that item,
Drew's
by the way.
determined to buy the
I
one.
am determined.
Yeah, we spent some this morning putting some items up on the website. So we're working on it behind the scenes. Very excited. Of course, it all benefits the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
That's right.
Trying to raise money for them and obviously the momentum that museum has in some really, really cool experiences. And we're excited to work with Bob Kendrick again. Wednesday, June 10th. We'll continue to remind you guys about it. We'll preview some items as we get much closer to this as well. And yes, we'll have a landing page up on our website for the bidding site, hopefully in the next week or two. And you guys can take an early look. Because some of them you might want to plan out with some people. For example, that private tour for 10 at the museum. If you think about it, if you get a group of people together, you break it up, it's going to be an unbelievable experience. And yeah, it's going to be.
But it
one
might
of
be
those where-
$50 to $100 a person.
Yeah, you can break it out that way. There's some random items that we have that we always throw in, but I think some really cool stuff as well, including some Royals jerseys, bobbleheads, etc.
I think we need something from your surgery. What do you got?
I don't have.
You they X-ray?
I don't have. No, I don't have it. They didn't do an X-ray.
A CT?
I mean, I don't. You want a copy of the CT scan before the surgery?
Yeah. Let's see how that nose is looking.
I guess I could ask for that. I don't even have a copy of that.
I'm sure it's in your medical file.
Well, sure, but I don't have like a physical copy of it. And then the splend.
Smelling tour of Kansas City with you?
Somebody wanted.
I don't even know what that means.
Somebody
Let's
wanted.
figure it out.
I don't know either.
Somebody wanted the plastic stents from my nose. Those have been thrown away at the doctor's office. I went back in there yesterday. Everything. He heard that we were talking about him on the radio. He said he appreciated that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but no, I started to get whiffs of certain things yesterday and today.
Good or bad?
No, well,
when you say a whiff of something, normally that implies something.
well,
gross,
because I haven't
but-
been able to smell. We've told the story plenty of times, but no, randomly today I could smell like the hand soap, like whatever,
Oh, nice.
a mango smell or whatever. I kind of smelt it briefly, and so little by little, it's starting to come back. So it's a good sign.
I don't know what a smelling tour of Kansas City looked like, but I'm definitely going to entertain the idea of putting that together. I feel like you got to go places that have distinct scents.
I mean, there'd be a more
somewhere with some fresh asphalt, maybe somewhere with
If you're in New York City, you definitely could get a smelling tour of things. But
we'll find some spots. Someone says you still have the gown from when you came home from the
They
hospital.
don't give you that.
They just throw that away.
I don't know if they don't throw it away. They clean it. They don't. It's the gown. They don't throw
No,
it.
paper gown. Those things
It's not
are
paper.
trashed.
Not a paper gown. No, like the
cloth ones.
Yeah, the one where it's
Wash those,
open
do
in the
those?
back.
You think
Yeah,
they wash those?
Absolutely. Yeah, the
figured
one
those
where
are-
it's just where you're naked and you just tie it up and your ass is hanging out in the back. Yeah, that gown. You don't get to take that home with you.
I don't know if that gets reused.
Of course
does
it does.
It's like medical waste in some way.
I mean, maybe I'm way off. I don't know. It's not
Like
paper.
when I
It's
had
not
my surgery, I
paper.
imagine like it got like blood and stuff on it.
Well, if it got blood on it, that's different.
Yeah.
But for mine, they were doing nasal surgery. The rest of my body was.
You should be able to keep it relatively clean. You're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I don't know. Somebody let us know on the other.
I don't
end.
know. That's a good question.
Somebody says Front Street over by the bridge, where you get that like dog food smell.
Oh, yeah.
A smelling tour of Kansas City is very funny, but also I genuinely do not know what that would look like. So we'll see. Somebody says cooking by Cody. Cook a meal in the garage sale. I do baked goods in the garage sale, but I don't do like a cooking lesson. I don't think I can. I don't know how I teach you to cook. I don't think that's inside of my range.
That's another father-son moment for you. I mean,
That's true.
potentially.
We
yeah.
did talk about the father-son package where we could play catch and have, really load up on a couple of things for that one day. I'll consider that. I'll have to figure out how to do it, though. Let's talk a little Royals baseball. Look, it's probably not the basement. I sure hope it's the basement. They are 10 games under 500. They look lost. They try to give Vinny the night off yesterday to maybe clear his head, or I don't know. Just get him out against a lefty to try to reset things for everybody with an off day today. Not another game until tomorrow. But it really did have me thinking about, like, this season could go so far south. It could legitimately impact players who I thought were going to be here for years. Vinny, Michael Garcia, Walker, Lugo. I didn't think those guys were going anywhere. I thought they were going to be a part of this core for years while they did some winning, made some playoffs, tried to do something special in Kansas City again. I thought they were all locked in to multiple years, all here in Kansas City. And this start has me thinking that maybe they're not all safe forever. Maybe they're safe for this year, but maybe they're not. Or maybe they're not safe in the offseason the way that I thought. Well, they could change the future of a lot of Royals players, because otherwise your plan next year would be just hope everyone's better. Legitimately. What would be the other? Right. It's not like the roster's going to change that much next year.
I think there's a couple names that would be in play. If we're talking about moving on from pieces and trades, there's a few that I think are almost untouchable. I mean, there's very few that you would ever say that even in sports, period. But they're not, because of this year, they're not suddenly moving on from Bobby Wood Jr. or Michael Garcia. I think there's a fair question moving forward, depending on how this year goes, that in the offseason or trade deadline for some pieces. Michael Walker continues to be one of the best pitchers in baseball. He was great again last night. They wasted start from him. He's a vet. He's got a couple years of control. He would be interested, or I should say other teams would be interested, I should say.
As well as he's pitched, I imagine half of baseball would be interested.
Be very interested in him. You could probably bring back something decent. I don't think you're getting back a big leaguer, but you could get a prospect or two. But then you look to 27, and all of a sudden a rotation that doesn't have Michael Walker in it. What's that rotation look like? No Walker. Bubic is done with his contract, so no Walker, no Bubic. So then you're looking at Reagans, Lugo, and Noah Cameron as 1, 2, 3 of your rotation next year. How good are you feeling about that right now? So Walker's an interesting one. I think Vinny's unfortunately the one that, because of the lefties in the lineup as well, that does that change?
And because they hadn't committed to him, and now he's struggling.
But because he's struggling right now, there's also his value's not great. I mean, at this point in time, who's giving you really anything that's worth pulling a trade like that off? So you got to see what the rest of the season goes. I'm talking more off-season with him more than as an in-season type of thing. Yeah, I mean, when you have years like this, it can change your path moving forward. But I also don't think they're selling everybody. They can't really afford to do that. And so from a rotation end, it's a little tricky because you still are hoping in 2027 you're set up as well. And so if you trade a Walker or somebody else, then how are you feeling about your rotation? A rotation next year that has Cole Reagan, Seth Lugo, Noah Cameron, and Avila in it? Like, that's
Burgert, I guess, coming off of an injury.
Yeah.
With a limited number of innings. Or maybe if someone got to Double-A this year in the Kendry Churio, David Shields part, maybe they could start in Triple-A the year after. But even that would be getting to the big leagues in a sprint. Churio's 18 years old. So, I don't foresee that being 2-3 years away. And so I guess a lot of it is how bad of this season would it have to, 100 losses? Would that make you just be like, yeah, you better just tear it all down. Stop counting.
100 losses, then multiple people not only players have to get moved, multiple people have to lose their jobs if you have 100 losses.
72 and 90, I could at least be like, yeah, the season got away from you early. I guess you stabilized some, although that would still be them playing below 500 for the rest of the stretch. And so it's not like it would, that's not a great sign, at least on that end.
No, it of course,
you need to show some life.
Seasons like this, of course, impact the future of multiple people in this organization, from a player and all the way up. And right now, just for the present day, 20 and 30. This team is 20 and 30, 50 games into the season. And the sad part is, Cody, with the Mariners coming
2 weeks ago.
Well, with the Mariners coming in and the Yankees coming into town on Memorial Day as well. I mean, no, I unfortunately, I do not think 20 and 30, 10 games under is as bad as it's going to get. I would love to sit here and tell you they're going to win 6 in a row or so. Why would I think that's possible right now with this group, Cody?
No. Again, same thing applies. I hope they win 10 in a row, and then they're just 500 again.
Yeah, it's...
But they've given no indication of belief in that. And now, in addition to not performing well, now they're hurt too. So crawling out of it's even more difficult. They don't have multiple of their starting pitchers. They don't have Chris Bubic. They don't have Cole Reagans. They still don't have the Major League Baseball's saves leader from last year. And he came back before the All-Star break at this point, I'd be stunned. Like, they don't have the list of people they normally have in addition to the people who have been hurt. And so crawling out of this feels impossible. And that's what stinks. Like, the off day can be good, but also, like, it probably stinks because you're sitting around right now and be like, how the hell did we get to 20 and 30? Because honestly, I can't explain it either. It is genuinely the same core-ish of last year's team, the same core of 2 years ago's team. And so, fine, pitcher injuries. You dealt with those last year and you still finished above 500. You had the worst outfield production in Major League Baseball last year and you still finished above 500. You're getting more out of Lane Thomas, Kyle Isbell, Isaac Collins, and Jack Caglione than you got out of the outfield last year. You're getting way less out of Vinny and way less out of Salvi. I understand. Salvi had a good night last night, but you are getting some spots and you're still this bad? It doesn't, what happened? They're going to have to reevaluate in a lot of big ways, which is not fun, obviously, across the board, but we'll see. College football continues to discuss, however, coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll talk more about the AFC West, but college football continues to discuss the 2014 playoff. And I saw Big Ten keeps pushing it. The SEC is the only holdout. If they ever just get fully on board.
They're going to talk about it in spring meetings next week, I believe.
What's hilarious about the SEC in this whole thing is, 8 years ago, the SEC was running everything. They were dominant. They dictated. They don't like the fact that Big Ten's running the show now. That's what's funny to me.
Oh, that's definitely part of it. It's not our idea, so it can't be the best idea.
Mm-hmm.
No, we only want 12 teams. No, because what? They'll get teams no matter what. It's not like you're not going to get more. But it made me think about the locals. Because while it would still be the longest of long shots if any of the locals were in the 2014 playoff to actually win the national championship, if it goes up to 24, I'm going to view it like the NCAA tournament. And I think depending on your program, you're allowed to have different answers depending on the program of how many times in a 10 to 20 year period you should be in the college football playoff. So I want to ask you, Missouri, KU, K-State, what is a reasonable number of your program is successful and going okay for those teams to make it? By the way, Chase Daniel put out, or maybe it was he shared the graphic from a different site, but this is the number of times they would have made it since 2014. Just so you have a baseline. Since 2014, it's 12 full years. Alabama, Ohio State have been the only two programs that would have made it all 12 times.
Of course.
Not surprising, by the way. Although I guess I am a little bit surprised it's not more. Notre Dame 10, Georgia 10, whatever. The leader in the clubhouse is Missouri, who would have made it 4 times during that time.
I believe that.
K-State would have made it twice. KU would have made it 0.
Yeah, I believe that.
So the question is, if this is to 24 teams and your program is going well, I think Missouri should make it half the time in a 10-year period. I think they should make it 5 out of 10 times. I think K-State should make it 2 or 3, and I think Kansas should make it 1 or 2. I don't think that is 24 teams.
Half? I disagree.
Is 5 too high for Missouri? They're in the SEC.
I understand. I think
Depends
so.
on the format, Cody.
We also
It depends
don't
on the
know.
format.
We also don't know. Yeah, I mean, guess kind of that's where I was headed as well. I think Drew and I are thinking the same thing with the. We also don't know how this is going to play out anyway. With how is the 24 teams ultimately going to be decided, and what is the qualifying? Is it going to be 10 auto bids? We don't know, so it's hard to answer. But I don't think 5 out of 10 years Missouri and the CFP should be the expectation. I honestly don't.
If you were Cody, if you were telling me that
seems too high for me.
Yeah.
I think almost any SEC team should be
for,
like 4 to 5
in a
times.
10-year period. Frankly, for Kansas, I would say 1. For K-State, it would be 1 or 2. For Missouri, it'd be like 2 or 3.
Cody,
interesting.
That's where I would be at.
10 years?
I think, Cody, it's still more. It's
Kansas,
just,
I don't think you're way off. I said 1 or 2.
24 teams, it doesn't just make like. We are still talking about deep down, middle of the road toward.
But if you're in a Power 4 conference and you run a decent program, you should be able to get there at least twice. Like K-State, you got to be able to get there 2 times in 10 years.
Just because it goes to 24 doesn't just mean now it's going to happen all the time.
If you were to take,
they would have made it 4 times in the last 12 years.
I understand that. If the format is 10 auto bids, Missouri would be fortunate to make it twice, I think, over the course of that time, especially with how the things have gone here recently, and looking ahead to what the schedule is going to be like this year. Like this year, their peak might be 8 wins this year, just based on the schedule. They could be really good and only win 8 games because the schedule is so tough. If you're 8 auto bids, then the most teams that the SEC is going to get is 7. So you have to finish top half.
That's not asking. if you're running a good program, Drew, that should be the bare minimum of keeping your job at Missouri. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just don't think...
finishing 7th or 8th in the SEC. I'm not asking the world. I'm asking you to win it. I'm not asking you to win your half of the SEC. I'm just asking you to finish in the top half. If you're K-State, I'm asking you to finish in the top third.
No, you're not.
Of the Big 12.
Big 12 is still going to need to be a top 1 or 2 teams.
If you're doing 10 auto bids, they have to finish first or second in the Big 12 to make it.
But they shouldn't be able to do that twice in 10 years at K-State.
Well, that's why I said 2 times. Yeah, I said
2 or 3. Yeah. I was 1 ahead of you, but not
if you're
crazy.
KU is not.
I said 1 to 2 for KU. Otherwise, you're just like, what are you even doing in the program? You can't be one of the 24 best teams in the country once in a decade. Well, then I want a different coach and I want a different program.
Cody, with the 10 auto bids, it's not if you're the top 24 teams in the country. If it's the 10 auto bids, it is not the top 24 in the country.
I know, but it's close enough to it that you should be able to
if
be.
If it is the top 24 in the country, I think KU would have made it one time.
They got to be like 10th in the country still. You know what I mean? Like, honestly.
But I think if you're
12th, maybe. I guess
there are only 4 power conferences. Everybody's football program, and this is not just because the Indiana thing. It is not an unfair ask of any college football program to have one decent team a decade. Like, pretty good. One like competitive
I'm with
team.
you on the one. I'm just saying, like 4 or 5. Like, initially, we started with Missouri half the time.
Their thing's different because they've been more competitive. They've been more consistent in this, and they play in a powerful conference.
They do.
Cody.
So, like, I'd put more pressure on Washington and beat, some of those others.
As crazy as this sounds, though, let's say with the 10 auto bids, like I said, you got to finish top half. This year, Missouri would have missed out. They went 8-4. 2 years ago, Missouri won 10 games. They did not finish top half in the SEC, and they won 10 games. They would have missed out.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think they would have missed out that year, though.
They
wouldn't have finished there, but they would have just been an at-large. They wouldn't have missed the college football playoff.
If you had 10 auto bids.
A 10-win SEC team is never missing a 24-team playoff.
I'm looking at the standings right now from 2 years ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They were 10. They were 9th.
But what I'm saying is there are at-large bids. A 10-win in there is no college football playoff system, Drew, in the world in which a 10-win Big Ten or SEC team does not make it.
That's why I said what the format is, Cody.
Yeah. But I'm saying I don't think it matters what the format is.
This year, 2 years ago, they won 10 games and didn't make it.
But there weren't 24 teams.
He's saying, though, let's say the format is 10. Let's say the format is that 10 of the spots are already accounted for.
Yes,
from
and
all conference ones. Then you're down to 4. So then you're down to 9
I'm
spots
saying they're
left.
going to be one of the 9. If it's a 10-win,
2 years ago,
10 wins in the SEC is an auto bid.
2 years ago, they would not have been in because Georgia would have been in, Tennessee, Alabama, LSU was better than them. And then this is all tiebreakers.
You listed 4 schools. I got 5 more spots.
South Carolina, Texas A&M, Ole Miss. Not to mention, we haven't even gotten to the Big Ten yet. The Big Ten, outside of Oregon, who won the conference 2 years ago, Indiana, Penn State, Ohio State, Illinois, were all better. Iowa had a better record, conference and overall, than Missouri, or conference 2 years ago, than Iowa did.
Are you talking about 23 or 4?
I'm talking about 2 years ago.
I'm going to look at the
24-25. Missouri finished 9th in their conference, and they would not have made the college football playoff if we were doing 10 auto bids. They wouldn't have beat Iowa State or BYU 2 years ago.
This is where you're wrong. This is where this is where you're wrong.
No.
Drew, in the sense that where
they
they finished in the conference, they have the same conference record as Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU. Finished below them is because of tiebreakers.
Correct. Which is why they wouldn't make it.
South Carolina, no, they had more wins. You're pretending like the people who are choosing for this thing. I'm just telling you right now, if you're a 10-win team in the SEC and the Big Ten, do you guys really I bet you $100 right now that if they do the 2014 playoff, that if I'll give you 20 years, Drew, I'll pay you the $100 anytime in 20 years, that if a 10-win team in the SEC or the Big Ten doesn't make the college football playoff, I'll pay you $100.
It depends on the format.
I don't think it matters. I don't think the format matters. 10-win SEC schools are a lock every time for a 24-team college football playoff. There's no universe in which that team gets left out.
I'm just telling you, Cody, based on the amount of teams that would have been included, they would not have been in 2 years ago.
I hear you, but again, we also don't know what the
they
final...
They ranked 22nd in the country. You think they're not going to be in there?
The ranking doesn't matter. It doesn't, though. That's the whole point. We don't know the format yet. If the format is that 10 of the bids or 11 of the spots are already accounted for, then we can't keep saying, like, oh, they're ranked 24th, as if, well, duh, they're one of the 24. I mean, you actually have to be probably top 14 in the country.
I don't think it's that much because the auto bids, how many of the small schools, even if they're taking up 4 spots, they're not going to let the small schools take up 8 spots.
We don't know.
One of the suggestions is that we're going to have 10 conferences get 10 bids, which would mean there's 6 conferences that are quote unquote small conferences.
There would be 10.
I don't know what the final format will be though.
If every conference got an auto bid, there'd be 10 teams gone. Auto bids are in. Notre Dame would also be included in that because Notre Dame would just be inside the top 25.
Do you guys genuinely think that the SEC and the Big Ten are going to agree?
That's the format that's being talked about right now, Cody. That's the one that's being talked about.
They're just going to let in every small conference on the planet?
The one I'm just going off of the one that's being talked about is 10 auto bids.
I still stand by the argument of I don't even care if it's that. I don't think 10-win SEC teams are ever getting left out.
Not to mention that same year 2024, Missouri did win, those 10 games, but 2 of the teams that were unranked ahead of them, South Carolina and A&M, both beat Missouri. Missouri would not have been in. Because then you look at the schedule and the tiebreakers.
I'll say this though. I'll be surprised if they end up finalizing the format that includes the 10 auto bids.
I agree with that, but we don't know.
That part, I will be shocked. More likely, it's going to be one qualifier for the group of 6 champion again. And if that happens, then what Cody is saying, if that's the format, then absolutely a 10-win Missouri team makes it every single time.
Yes.
But if it's 10 qualifiers for 10 conferences, well then, no.
If we're also being honest, if they do the model without the 10 auto bids, you're going to see 9 or 10 you're going to see 9 or 10 SEC teams in. Missouri should make it 8 out of 10 years just based on that standing alone.
All right, coming up next, guys, let's get to the random question of the day, and let's get back to the AFC West and how tight this conference, or division, I should say, could be, including some odds on who's going to miss the playoffs.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
Hey Kansas City, it's Jeff Briggs with Victory CDJ Art the Legends. Once again, we are taking the hassle out of car buying with the Victory Scavenger Hunt. Folks, as always, our hunts are different. We put the price right at your fingertips with our Let's Do Business guarantee. Like walking up to select Ram 1500s, subtracting $18,000 from the sticker, and let's do business. It's that simple. Just visit VictoryMotorsKC.com and click on the large Scavenger Hunt banners directly on our homepage. That's VictoryMotorsKC.com, where our first price is better than their last.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, add 1 line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Hi folks, Bob, Blue Springs Ford. Hey Blaine, I know we've got employee pricing going on right now for everyone, but what's the difference in pricing?
Great question. 2026 Escape starting at $26,000.
That's thousands of dollars off.
2026 Expeditions.
Oh, I know this is going to be good.
How about up to $10,000 off MSRP and Lightning up to $18,000 off. Plus you get a lifetime powertrain warranty for free.
Folks, go to BlueSpringsFord.com right now because this ends soon.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Hey, it's Gold, and I have exciting news. Ford has announced employee pricing for everyone. Over at Shawnee Mission Ford, you pay what they pay, and you still get the rebates and incentives offered by Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford, who's on a mission to do more in 26.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back here on Cody and Gold, a reminder coming up around 1:10. It is a Snitch Line Thursday. We already had a couple submissions based off the trash of the day, which was a great one today. If you missed it, you can go back on the podcast page later and listen. Trash of the day involved a landlord that was supposed to go to the tenant's home
to do a repair,
to fix something, and the tenants had a Ring camera or something inside their house, and they got an alert, and it turns out the tenant was having sex with somebody on their couch. Yeah, it was
bonnet down, legs up, I think
that's
is what.
That's what the news report said. The news report did say that. Someone then texted in an early submission for the Snitch Line. It's a pretty good one. So Snitch Line, 913-586-7965. If you're new to it, we started this all the way back in the first or second year of the show. Something that you've seen around town, something you've done anonymously, you need to get off your chest. Snitch Line Thursdays. We used to do it every week. We do it once a month or so. Right here on Cody and Gold coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. All right, let's talk a little AFC West before we get to the random question of the day. And I think we all recognize how jumbled this division should be. I don't think anybody expects the division winner this year to be 14 wins, which was the case last year. The Broncos won 14 games. Feels like one way or the other, there's going to be regression there for the division winner. Maybe it can still be a 13-win team. I think it's more likely the division's a 12-win team because I think these teams are awfully close to each other.
They are.
So
I'd say they are.
Of the three, who's most likely to miss the playoffs? I say three because the Raiders, we're not really counting them in this conversation. They could be better, but they're not making the playoffs, so it's kind of obvious they're missing the playoffs. I think we all are pretty confident saying that. The Broncos are plus 122 to miss the playoffs. The Chargers are plus 140. The Chiefs are plus 154. So for those that aren't familiar with how that works, the Broncos are slightly more likely, based on the odds market, to miss the playoffs than the Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. But that is all very, very close. They're all jumbled up. And I think the part with the Broncos that I still think has them in the postseason, even if you're skeptical about Bo Nix, is I really like the Jalen Waddle trade. I really think that's a very nice trade for the Denver Broncos. Yeah, they needed
another weapon.
The other part is if your defense, and we think they still for another year are going to be this, if you have a top 2, top 3 defense, which I think the Broncos still will be in 26, given what they have in the secondary with Pat Surtain, et cetera. If you have that good of a defense, historically good in some cases, I don't think you're missing the playoffs unless you tell me your quarterback play sucks. And while Bo Nix is average, he doesn't suck. And so I just think they have too much experience there. Now, maybe the one-score game stuff that you brought up in terms of margin and regression because, hey, you got lucky. A lot of one-score wins, a lot of breaks. That'll get you back. That's why I don't think they're a 14-win team. I don't think they're suddenly going to fall back from 14 wins to 9, though.
And that's what it would take, 9 or 10 maybe. But when you've got that many playoff teams on either side of the NFL. It is hard. We got 7 playoff teams. Missing the playoffs isn't easy. Chiefs obviously had to work at it last year, but also, and this can be foolish thinking, Chiefs aren't missing the playoffs 2 years in a row. They got Patrick Mahomes. And if he's going to be available week 1, which all signs indicate, I don't know a universe in which their roster is bad enough for them not to be a playoff team. I think it's the Chargers, and I think probably as much as I like the Mike McDaniel signing, I think they're one of the most underrated, talked about storylines so far is the Chargers' schedule and lack of offensive weapons. They brought in what? One random tight end and problem solved? Amari Hampton didn't get off to some hot start last year. They were making it with Vidal work for a stretch. They were a playoff team, but regression could come for them quick. They played in a lot of close games last year. And as much as we made of the Chiefs 5-game stretch during the end of the year, I'll just tell you right now, the Chargers have a worse one. The Chargers, after 2 weeks, go to Buffalo, to Seattle, against Denver, to Kansas City in a 4-week stretch. They then get a bye, and it doesn't get any better. They go to the Rams at home versus Houston and to Baltimore for the next 3. I mean, they very well could put themselves in a massive hole. And while they've got the Jets and the Raiders and some of these other teams later on in this game, Miami, where they could maybe get some wins, I think a lot of times, and we found this out with Kansas City last year, playing catch-up in the NFL is really hard. And when you get behind the 8 ball a little bit and the schedule bites you, that's when you could really run into it. My hang-up is I like Justin Herbert better than I like Bo Nix. And so if any given year you're making me guess a playoff team versus another, I'm going to usually go that route. By the way, just out of curiosity, can you pull up the odds? Because like those 3 are so close. What is it for Joe Burrow to miss the playoffs? Or some of these other, or Houston? What do they view them versus some of these AFC West teams? Because that will tell us at least a little bit about what they think about it.
To miss the playoffs, the odds for a team like Cincinnati, plus 146. Again, for context.
So better than
Denver
the Chargers,
plus 122, Chargers plus 140. So they're basically saying the Chargers and Bengals have the same odds to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot, I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it tracks.
I think the Chiefs, I mean, plus 154, it is absolutely in play that they missed the playoffs. I understand nobody wants to hear that, but
they're calling it not even odds, but pretty even.
It is absolutely in play for them to still do that. I mean, there's a lot of questions I think we all have about this team. Specifically, you know, I do on how are they getting after the quarterback. That's still something I don't think they're going to have an answer to this year.
We won't know until we get into the season. Yeah.
I know we just got done talking about Rasheed Rice. I think he's going to have a good year, but I understand people that are skeptical about his availability if that becomes a problem during the season again. So
what are the Patriots to miss?
To miss?
Because the Bills, I would assume,
plus
are the
166. So the team, if you're wanting the least I guess, let me do it this way. I can do it the reverse to make the playoffs, same thing. But to the most likely teams to make the playoffs in the AFC, odds-wise, Bills, Baltimore, then New England, then Kansas City, then the Chargers, then the Broncos, and the Texans. And then on the NFC side of things, most likely to make the playoffs would be the Rams, the Seahawks, the Lions, the Eagles, the Niners, the Packers, the Cowboys.
It feels like the AFC is so jumbled where
that's why all the odds are like nobody's 2-1.
Yeah.
Right? Not of the good teams. They're all in the between plus 100 and plus 200. They all fall in the same range. They're saying it's relatively even money depending on any team you think's going to miss the playoffs. So then what are they factoring it down to? Well, maybe they like the Chiefs roster a little bit less.
Or the division you're in, too.
Or the division you're in.
That's a huge part of it.
I would think if you're in the South, it should be a little easier.
Yeah, look at the Texans.
To make the playoffs.
The Texans to make the playoffs minus 156. The Jags minus 112. The Colts plus 158 to make the playoffs.
Also, I got to say, I'll just bet on like someone to get a single tonight. I'm not betting on, I'd like genuinely just from like a wagering perspective.
Yeah.
I'm not betting on the Colts to make the playoffs at plus 150. I'll just bet Vinny to get a hit. I'm all wait 8 months for a plus 150 bet. Nah, I'm not waiting that long for at least, personally, I'm not for a 1.5 to 1.
Yeah. It's not to tie up that money for that long for just a small payout. I hear you.
Yeah. But I guess look, the AFC, Drew, you're not wrong. The AFC is a mess. I will just say, like, the Chiefs' schedule's hard. It is no more difficult than the Chargers or the Broncos. They all have equally difficult schedules. If anything, you can make some arguments on either side. Denver faces 10 teams who went to the playoffs last year. So even if you say, okay, fine, every team who made the playoffs last year isn't making it again, reasonable, not an unfair stance. But normally they don't go from making the playoffs to laughing stock of the NFL. So even if you think the Jags don't make the playoffs, they're not going to be a pushover. or the 49ers don't make the playoffs, they're not going to be a pushover. Like, they will still be a challenging team. I would argue there are only maybe 4 easy games on the schedule, not including the division ones, which I think, probably a little bit of a challenge for Denver, as in 4 games in which they'll be decided favorites in. That's what stands out. And that's always a truth teller, too. How many games do you think Denver or the Chargers will be favored in? That stretch I just gave you for the Chargers schedule, Gold, and this is why I think it's them that misses. I think the Chargers missed the playoffs this year. Even though I like their roster to some degree, is that they will be an underdog in 4 out of 5 games from week 3 to 8. And maybe an underdog to Denver and Denver, depending on how they start, and maybe an underdog at home, to Denver at home, maybe an underdog to Houston at home. I don't think so, but they will be an underdog a bunch for a huge stretch. So even getting through a stretch of that, like winning, Gold, feels...
That's what makes it really interesting, because you were saying the Chargers and Bengals are relatively similar. I think the Bengals are favored in 15 of the 17 games that they have, which is the most they've ever had before in franchise history.
And are they really favored that much?
I think they're favored in 15 games.
Probably favored in all the home divisional games, even though they're close. Baltimore would probably be the only home game they're not favored in. I mean, their home schedule is really not terrible. Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, New Orleans. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's not, I'm not saying there's not hard games, but it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. And they got road games that include Carolina, Indianapolis, and Cleveland. So not murderer's row on the road either.
No. Yeah.
So it's not surprising.
What, the 30 easiest schedule, I think, is what?
I think it is more likely this year Cincinnati makes the playoffs than the Chargers. Like, I would personally say, I think the odds are saying that too, but they're saying they're about the same. If you made me bet one of them, would you bet Cincinnati or the Chargers?
I'd probably bet Cincinnati. My only question with them, though, is, again, the division. While the West is tough, say what we want about Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers can beat Cincinnati once or twice because Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback.
And the Ravens can beat them once or twice.
There's a challenge. The AFC West, you can make a case to a certain extent there. I think the question with the Chargers is, if their O-line stays healthy all year, I think the Chargers are a playoff team.
Okay. So yours is, but I mean, no history of that.
I know.
That's like saying if Rasheed Rice stays out of trouble for a whole year. I mean, there's no history to suggest the Chargers' offensive line will stay healthy.
I think somebody, I don't know who brought this up. I don't know if it was somebody on just one of the major networks or not, but maybe it was Dan Orlovsky somebody said that we're not talking enough about the Chargers not having Jesse Minter anymore as the DC, and how is that going to affect the defense?
New offensive coordinator.
It may not be as good of a defense, yeah.
Well, it mattered to the Lions. New offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. It's not an easy way to operate. It can get you. And, again, it's just so tough. Because Herbert is one of the 10 most talented quarterbacks in the NFL. But Harbaugh's also, in a weird way, neutered him. He's not even given the opportunity to do the things he used to be able to do. And so they try to, Alex Smith, grind out playoff teams now for the Chargers. And it's you just come up a couple of short in those because every game's close. Then you miss. That's what's always stood out to me about the Chargers, is winning that way feels dangerous.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. Of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, where we live stream the show and interact with you. Like and subscribe over on YouTube or Twitch. Pop to the top of your feed so you don't miss any part of the show. Corporate's noticed that. Corporate likes where the YouTube's going, Gold. So, you can come over and join us over there. It's nice. Nice, and the water's warm. I don't know me. We growing?
The water's warm.
Come
hang out.
Yeah, come hang out over on the video streams if you aren't in the car. Please don't watch this on video if you're driving. Drive safe. Whatever. Arrive alive. Whatever it takes to. Whatever.
I did see on the. Okay, so this is real quick.
Sure.
You said I was driving on 435 East or whatever near Null or whatever yesterday, and they have the signboards or whatever, and it said congrats grads, arrive alive. Now look, I agree. I agree that congrats grads and the arrival. Both I agree with both statements.
Yeah,
but it just seems,
are they related?
It seems weird to be congrats. By the way, arrive. Why do we have to go? So we went from congrats grads to
hope you're not dead.
Yeah, it's wow.
Went a little dark there.
Yeah, it's a little. Yes, arrive alive. Please buckle up and all that, but it just seemed weird to put congrats and then arrive alive.
I am not looking forward to when my kids are an age where I got to start going to a bunch of high school graduations.
A bunch of them. It's going to happen once.
I got a lot of nieces and nephews. Oh. Once they all start aging out at the same time or so, I'm going to be at 1 million of those things. Although I think they limit the tickets more than maybe when we were kids. So maybe I'll get cut off on the invite list.
You
Parties.
You don't want to get invited.
No, I don't want to go to any graduation voluntarily.
Cody's ready to send man, darn, I really wish I could have made it, but it's not going to happen.
Actually, that's going to remind me. I'm going to set a reminder on my phone so that I can try to find my college diploma so I can put it up for the Cody Gold garage sale.
You don't want to keep that?
What the hell am I going to do with it? It's never going to hang up anywhere in my house.
I mean, mine's not framed either. It's sitting still in the same FedEx envelope or whatever I got when it was sent to me or whatever,
Yeah, exactly. It's going to sit there forever. I could raise money for the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum if you instead want to hang up my diploma that says Cody Tap. The high school
bids on that. There's no way that they're hanging it. They're just going to bid to.
Oh, they're definitely hanging it. That's a weird thing to buy. What are they going to do? Burn it? That'd be crazy.
They're going to hang someone else's. They're going to hang someone else's diploma up. I don't think so.
They're doing it to donate to the museum. They're not doing it so they can hang up your diploma in their.
What do you think they'll do with it then? Just own it? Yep. Just in the same manila folder, but in their house?
Yep.
Yeah,
instead of mine?
Yes.
Fine. Whatever you want to do. I don't care what you do with it. Don't defile it, I guess. But outside of that, we're square. The random question I have today is actually about college. There was a complaint from a Gen Alpha. So the generation, younger crowd, Gold. Hear me out. So I want to ask you a question after
younger than Gen Z.
This person, it might have been Gen Z. It was like right in that same range. But so they were talking about they had sent a post out and they got quite a bit of feedback from people of our generation or our age. They said there is no way in hell any of you ever actually wrote a 10-page paper that wasn't using AI. That's not a real thing. They didn't make you write, though. So the question I have for you today is, what's the longest paper you've ever written? Because I'll tell you right now, that person thinking we didn't used to have to write 5, 6, 10-page papers, dead wrong. I know for a fact the longest one I ever had to write was 12 pages. And I'm
going to see if I've still got one on my laptop. This is my laptop from college. I still
That's your laptop from college?
What? I'll be able to tell you.
I want to know what Drew's papers were about in college.
See if I have any.
I don't know the exact answer. I think at one of my history classes, whatever, I probably had to write a 12 to 15 page thing, but that's no more than 15 pages.
But you had to really write it.
Yeah.
No AI.
Yeah.
Did you not pay anybody? Did you ever pay somebody to write a term paper for you?
No, I had people to help me with math because I sucked at math, but I did not pay anybody to help me with a paper or anything. No.
I've written term papers.
I had a roommate of mine that helped me with a math test once, but that was it.
Oh, he took it online for you?
May or may not have happened, yeah.
I'm not going to take your diploma away now.
Yeah.
Then I got to come back. What do you think? You're the first college kid to ever cheat?
I don't know why the person with the J school degree, needed to take calculus is all I got to say. I don't know why I needed to take a calculus class.
Over on Twitch, ZM says, I just completed a 30-page master thesis.
Well, there you go.
With zero AI. So he's still out here doing it. They were essentially just in disbelief that is something that could actually have been required at some point. I felt like writing 5-page papers was regular for most of my school. Like, especially once I got to high school. It felt like you had to turn in 3, 4, 5-page papers on the regular, right? Someone says 20 pages, junior year of high school, Barstow. 20 pages in high school? 12-page computer science class.
If you're getting your doctorates, it's a different animal. Someone says, doctoral dissertation, 250 pages. That's insane. But if you get there's a whole master's degree in doctoral, that's different stuff there.
Somebody said 10 pages on Greek philosophy they had to do.
How about we keep it to undergrad here? I understand if you're going for your doctorate, it's just going to be a little bit different. But
I mean, they genuinely could not believe that anybody ever used to write these things without the use of it. Like, that was...
All right, I think I got rid of all of
How do you still have your... I'm impressed you still have your laptop from college.
This thing, it's still hanging on. If I don't have it, if it's not charging, if I unplug the charger, it'll die within 15 seconds.
Just go get a new battery.
Well, no. So I got a new laptop for my parents for Christmas. It sits at home. This one I just bring because I can't use it for anything other than I literally just have
plugged in.
I literally just have to have the rundown.
All right, so what's the longest paper you got in there?
Longest paper. So I couldn't find anything. I've gotten rid of all the college stuff since then. Damn. The one that I can remember most, I think, was like a 12-page essay for one of my either sociology classes or a history class, one of the two from college.
I mean, I still remember. Do you remember having to turn in a handwritten paper?
Yeah, not in college, though.
No, not in college. It's been in general.
Yeah.
Handwritten?
Oh, yeah. I turned one in on a typewriter.
In high school.
I can't tell you the last time I...
Well, we had one at the house, and I didn't have like a PC when we were like in middle school. We had to do a paper, and I didn't want to write it. Because it was either handwritten, so I typed it instead. I just used the typewriter.
In junior high, I think we still were handwriting papers.
Yeah, my laptop's still hanging on. It's been 12 years. I went to college in 2014, so it's been 12.
That's
crazy.
12
years. Yeah,
someone said how to write a 10-page biography on a family member using only primary sources. I like that everybody's immediately triggered by this conversation.
The primary sources thing is tough. That is difficult.
Yeah, people were talking about the tricks they were trying to do. You make the periods an extra font size bigger. Someone says add a half a page in length for every 2 pages. Yeah,
you
the margins get adjusted. I love that.
Facts.
Few of the periods are 14-point font instead of 12.
Yes.
There was always like a thought.
Yeah.
I always had the thought of like, are they actually reading this whole thing I'm knocking out about?
I don't know. You tell me, Professor.
So I listen to all the podcasts
Do
every
you?
second. I do.
Okay.
I genuinely do. But I had a student tell me I didn't think he actually listened to this whole thing. I was like, well, I mean, how can I judge it otherwise? Can't really make a determination unless I'm doing it. How quickly, if I made you Gold, I need 5 pages on the Rasheed Rice jail
easy.
time.
That's easy.
How quickly do you think, could you knock it out in a couple hours?
Yeah, because
10 pages on Rasheed Rice?
That particular topic, yes.
10 pages in an hour? I don't think.
Not an hour. I'm not saying he's doing it in an hour. I'm asking him how long it would take. I need 10 pages on the idiots,
by the end of the day.
It's an opinion-based paper. Rasheed Rice is an idiot is the title. How long would it take you to get to 10
Yeah, and then I'll
pages?
just have AI clean up some of the grammar and we're good.
You just use Grammarly or something, outside of that.
That topic.
Or have
easy.
someone proofread.
We've been talking about it for months. This is a multi-year saga of Rasheed Rice.
That actually is what you could do. I don't know if you can do it in like the new Macs, but if you set to if you can do like the Hey Siri, but for your laptop, you just talk and it writes your paper, and then you have AI clean it up, and you don't even have to type a single thing.
I guess
you just
this is a question for people when we were in college, Cody, we had to submit to one of those sites.
Oh, I did, AI site.
Well, that wasn't an AI.
It wasn't that, but
it
just
was
like
for
a check. Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for?
something checking like a.
What's the word? Checking for plagiarism. Thank you. Plagiarism.
Copyright check.
Copyright plagiarism check. Now I'm assuming when you submit to those sites, wouldn't it say, "Hey, this was used with AI and it's the same issue"? Wouldn't that kick that back and claim that?
So I have access to check
cheating?
those things. Yes, they have AI scanners, but the problem is always the same. Where it's
You're using AI to scan the AI.
And then it's like this is AI, and sometimes it's not. So now they have on Canvas, if somebody turns in a paper they have to turn in there, it'll show keystrokes. So I could watch. For a podcast, I can't do that. But I also think I am convinced that if a student tried to turn in an AI generated podcast, I could hear it. I'm convinced I'd know. And I say that knowing that, what was it? There was a headline not even that long ago. Let me find it. It's important because it relates to the topic at hand, which was one of these sites is getting ready to start doing those, which was, let's see if I can find it. It said, Amazon's Alexa Plus will now produce AI podcast on a topic you choose with chatty conversations between two fake co-hosts. And I'm not even kidding. I'd rather stick my hand in a blender than listen to that. I think you'd immediately know
this person
that it didn't sound real.
I have to give a shout out to this person. They said 21 pages on Napoleon's invasion of Russia without internet, going to the library and finding books.
That's what's crazy.
That is
it in middle school?
You deserve kudos for that.
But when I wrote papers in middle school, Drew, it's we had computers you could go to. It's not like that. It's not that old. But that wasn't, they'd still have us write papers being you're not always going to have the internet at your fingertips. They still say stupid stuff like that. Or Wikipedia is not a good source. Wikipedia is an excellent source.
Yeah, there are a couple things that
just
were
as long as you follow
you're
it down the rabbit hole to where they found the primary source.
Will definitely mean something. You're going to need to find the square root of 57 here.
There were definitely things like that where you're you knew it at the time, and it's you said it. You're not going to have internet. Or my favorite was, you're not going to always have a calculator with you. The hell I'm not. I got this phone everywhere with me, everywhere I'm at.
I can look up the square root of whatever I need to right now. Yeah. Although, when's the last time you looked at the square root of anything?
Yeah. I was actually just teaching my son square roots. I don't know why. He just likes math.
Did you use a calculator?
No, because I was teaching him basic square roots. Okay. He's in the first grade. I wasn't we weren't doing complicated stuff. I was just trying to teach him how to take something from one side of an equation to another in a square root.
That's serious. If you asked me to do the square root of something, I don't know if I genuinely.
I'm very happy.
I don't know if I
have to do that
genuinely
kind
be
of
able
stuff
to do
anymore.
it.
Just especially for what we do for a living. It's there's just not yes, there we have no use for that whatsoever.
The square root of 2 is not 4. That'd be the exponent. 2 times 2 would be 4. The square root of 4 would be 2.
4 is 2. That's what I meant.
I couldn't. I was if you said it
my head's already getting nervous and hurting at this point in time. Let's not.
Please don't ask me. How many digits out of pi can you do, Gold?
We are not doing
3.14 and blank after that.
That's probably.
That's all I got for you. I'm getting a cold sweat already just thinking about some of this stuff. Bad memories.
Be a good punishment on this show, making someone go
gosh.
just do the math portion of the ACT.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be brutal.
Only the math portion? You hate it. We all hate it. And I liked math.
I never liked it. Never liked it. All right, up next, let's talk about the availability for a wide receiver. We found out that it might be longer than we think for a free agent, plus a Snitch Line Thursday here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strahm from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What matters to you matters to us. That's why Busey Bank takes the time to understand your goals and build solutions that fit your story. From everyday banking to long-term planning, our team is here to help you navigate every stage with care and expertise. We're more than a bank. We're your neighbor, your advisor, and your advocate. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The U.S. Treasury just released its official financial report for 2025. Buried in it is a startling admission. By its own numbers, it appears the U.S. government is insolvent. When governments go this deep in debt, they print money, raise taxes, or cut benefits, none of which can help protect you. That's why people move part of their savings into physical gold and silver. Call Monetary Gold at 877-NOW-GOLD for their complimentary gold and silver guide. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. Do it before the next headline, not after. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Range Bait with Dusty Likens is now up on the Fan's YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter channels. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
It's about to get a little bit harder and a little bit sillier. Here we go.
What a choice. What is this? Is this from your childhood? Because this is not from mine.
Drew, I've never heard this in my life.
I haven't either. This is from 3 years ago. 61 million views on YouTube. This is Math Wiz Edition song.
You should have given me the number blocks or something I'm familiar with, you know? This has 61 million views, so this is going to break my brain.
61 million views from 3 years ago. This is like a
never heard of it.
Kids edition song.
Yeah.
To learn edition. This is not what you showed your kids, Cody, when.
No, my
for
one son who loves math, he was a number blocks fan. He also just like taught himself. Sometimes there's like parents want to take credit for everything. I don't know. He just like started one day. He was watching that show, and then he had Break the Ice. You guys familiar with that board game? You know, the one where you like have the little hammer and the penguin hangs in there?
Yeah.
And he took all the ice cubes out of it, and he just started making them math manipulatives. And he'd be like, 9 + 7 is 16. And you're like, yeah, okay, cool, man. And then he just got better at it and then he still only, like, he didn't want me to teach him square roots the other day. But he already knows division and, multiplication and all that other stuff.
So he's about to be like the next, like, Albert Einstein doing like a,
I don't know if he's
chemical equations.
I don't know if he's
like
boy
that.
genius, but like he's smart and he knows math. We already talked about this in the show. They made him he doesn't go to first grade math anymore. He goes to third grade math. I'm guessing next year he'll go to fourth grade math. Beats me. He's ahead of the curve. How about that, Drew? But I do not know that song.
Someone says it's Danny Go on Netflix.
Oh, okay. My kids have watched some Danny Go videos.
Yeah, you have kids, so I would have expected you to know that. There's no way I would ever know that.
Danny Go's very popular.
Look, Cody, your son is out here grades ahead in math, challenging guys to one-on-one in basketball who are like 6'5". He didn't care.
Challenged somebody again yesterday at the gym.
Your wife deserves a lot of credit.
Took him down. Probably.
Yeah.
What'd you get her for Mother's Day?
Oh yeah.
You
never told us.
I definitely got her stuff this time.
You don't remember.
So I don't want to.
It was 2 weeks. It was last
I know.
week.
But things happen and life moves on, and then you forget. There was stuff. There were things. Multiple things.
I'm glad.
I just don't remember what was going on. But yeah, Danny Go's very popular. I'm not like just saying this. I definitely got stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to remember now. Now nobody's going to believe me ever again. Fair. That's fair.
We will get to the Stitch Line Thursday here in about 7 minutes or so. You can start sending those in. 913-586-7965. Something you've done, you've witnessed, something you want to get off your chest. We've got a couple submissions already in there. We will get it started in just a little bit. But briefly, I do want to talk about Tyreek Hill because Adam Schefter was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday and said that essentially this injury that Tyreek Hill is coming back from, we shouldn't be surprised if he may not be ready until midway through the season. I don't think anybody that's followed the knee injury and the reports are in March about him maybe not passing a physical, even if he was given one, then should be stunned by this. I think this is actually good news if you're someone that wants the Chiefs to sign him. What I mean by that is I think it's more likely he signs with the Chiefs if he's not actually able to play until October or November, versus if he's ready week 1, I think more teams would be interested in August or in July or now for that matter. I think the Chiefs would have a leg up in that whole scenario if, in fact, it's a midseason acquisition. Or do you sign him in August and he's on the PUP list for half your season or something like that? We know he has interest in Kansas City. I assume the Chiefs have interest in Tyreek Hill. what we really don't know yet is he able to come back and actually be, I don't know, Cody, 75%, 80% of what he was?
So,
because that
80% is not enough. That puts you in like not very good wide receiver category.
I think there's a real chance that he's not anywhere close to 95%.
Now,
of
that
what
probably
he was.
put him at Hollywood Brown levels, I guess. In fairness, 80% of peak Tyreek Hill probably is Hollywood Brown, honestly. Yeah. Based on their career, it's probably not way off, and they could use a guy of that caliber. That's the thing. They don't need the best version of Tyreek Hill for this to be a fit. I actually think it's a better fit for Tyreek Hill than it is the Chiefs. Not to say that it doesn't fit the Chiefs in any way. But for Tyreek, you're coming off this major injury. You're getting older. This would be a comfortable system, a comfortable coach, a comfortable setting. And he has done everything to make it painfully clear. He'd do anything to come back to Kansas City and be a part of a winning organization again. And there is still some chance that if he came back at 80% by week 8, maybe by the time a playoff game or you really needed him, they'd be difficult to guard. Tyreek Hill, Rasheed Rice, Xavier Worthy, Tyquan Thornton on the field together, even 85% Tyreek Hill. That's a good, borderline, if Rasheed Rice steps forward, great wide receiver unit. So it could come there. The real question is he willing to wait and trust that the Chiefs would sign him no matter what? Or is he got to be willing to sign with another team? Because I like it if the Chiefs are willing to wait. Because by October, you know whether or not the wide receiver unit's any good.
Right.
And you can just save your money and not worry about it. Or if you want to, maybe it's going the way it went last year and you want to spend the money doing it in order to put yourself in a better position. I like that they would have a choice.
Or an injury happens, and so you don't feel like you need him now, but all of a sudden it's October, and suddenly you find out you're going to be without a wide receiver for a month, and he's still out there and available, and so you sign him there. That's why the mid-season availability, if that's true from Schefter, I do think it actually sets the Chiefs up in a better spot if they are interested in signing him.
To get him, yes.
Yeah, that's all.
I do think, because they're just, at that point, they become the perfect fit for him. Why wouldn't that? Even if you had to sign in August and you're like, I'll see you in November. Why wouldn't you be interested in that fit? Because right now on paper, if I were Tyreek Hill, I would be telling myself, what's my competition? Like the number one target guy is Rasheed Rice. Like, are you going to be on the field? Is he going to be healthy? Like the normal stuff I would ask. I would tell myself, Xavier Worthy hasn't taken a step forward, so I can definitely beat that guy out. He's not like the competition.
I don't want him
for
getting,
snaps.
But I don't want him getting more snaps than Rasheed Rice or Xavier Worthy. I mean, there's got to be some understanding, even if he gets brought in.
I think if he's on the team, he's immediately ahead of Xavier Worthy in snaps the second he's on the field.
See, I do. I think he's just a close second.
Oh, okay.
He's a close second. Or
I don't think
close
it's
third, I guess I should say. But I think he's very close. I don't think he would outsnap Worthy unless Worthy just is having a terrible season.
Where do we think Bill Barnwell? He hasn't come out with that article yet. He does an article every year of ranking out the tight end, wide receiver, running back groups every year, just the best skill position groups.
I mean, I know
instinct. Where do we think the Chiefs wide receiver room is right now?
20.
Bottom 10 of the league.
Yeah.
Like 22, 23.
Yeah.
I know tomorrow on the show we're going to go through. It's fantasy football, but it allows us to have some stat projections. One of the popular sites did their projections already for Mahomes and Walker, Rice, Worthy, and Kelsey. And so I know tomorrow we're going to talk about it, but we have our first early, all right, here's the stat line for Xavier Worthy. Would you take it kind of thing? We can do that tomorrow on the show. I don't want to spoil it, but saw that come across, and we got that planned for tomorrow on the show. And I'll be curious. We got Worthy's numbers, Rice's numbers, Kelsey's numbers, and Kenneth Walker's numbers.
Borderline, without even seeing it, because I haven't clicked on the article yet, best guess is I'd probably take Worthy's. And it's not, I don't know, he
would come in at wide receiver 52, by the way, in this projection.
Genuinely.
In the entire league.
More than any player, and this is the difficulty with Tyreek Hill or knowing anything about their wide receiver unit. I think Xavier Worthy is the single biggest question mark, or how about this? Single biggest distance between floor and ceiling for this upcoming season.
Okay.
I don't have a good predictive measure to tell you how good of a year he'll have. Because at his basement, he can definitely just have 550 yards. That's what he did last year. And at his ceiling, he could probably have 1,000. He might be the single biggest swing player on the roster. There's some where, the variance in which the level of performance I think I'm getting is just significantly tighter.
I don't want to spoil the whole conversation for tomorrow. I'll just say this. How about this? His fantasy football projected stat line. Doesn't mean that it's right, but just gives you a baseline. 55 catches, 695 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Would you take that, Cody? I don't know. If
So basically 700 yards.
If you could lock it in, you would take that.
I think a lot of Chiefs fans would lock it in. I won't, but I'm also very optimistic still on Xavier Worthy. But I would understand. That'd be very tempting. Be very, very tempting to lock that in. 700 yards and 4 touchdowns.
The only reason to not lock it in is because you still think he's got like bigger potential in a career.
The other reason I wouldn't lock it in, we'll have this conversation tomorrow, but is because I also can see what they project Rice's number, and Rice's number is not good enough for me to lock in Worthy's number.
Okay.
How about that?
If they're comped together,
yeah,
you can't necessarily go that way. It's interesting. Again, I think Rasheed Rice is a player who deserves the most snaps on the team when he's available and on a football field and there. So, like, Tyreek's not a fit, but it's also, I would still do another defensive end before I do that. I could be talked into tight end. We did the list earlier of, like, some of the, surprising possibilities of, like, fits for teams. I don't know who your competition for Tyreek Hill is. If he wants to be on a winning team, and I think that it's fairly obvious that is at least a portion of his motivation.
Could it just be an OBJ situation where he's just kind of out there, and it's just
that's been the comp that I've been mentioning for a bit. Yeah,
because OBJ's just been floating out as a free agent for the last couple seasons now.
If that's the case, figure it out. Because the year that OBJ signed with the Rams and they won the Super Bowl, I to this day and had conversations on the air at this time, I still think the Chiefs win the Super Bowl if they had won that free agent signing, and that was the difference between the Rams winning and the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs win the Super Bowl that year. They go past Cincinnati, the whole thing. If
OBJ was set to win MVP in that game too until he got hurt.
If OBJ had been a Chief that year, they go past Cincinnati and they win the Super Bowl. But because they were unable to get that one last move to put them over the final hump, they came up short, had a bad half. That was the worst half Patrick Mahomes had probably played in a playoff game in which most of the things were available at his disposal. I think everything changes for him that year. So, like, if that's the kind of argument we're making for it, and if they think that's the get over the hump piece, then sure, bring in Tyreek. The question I have for him and any of these guys is, when are Stephon Diggs, when Tyreek Hill, when are Keenan Allen taking jobs? Are they waiting to see if someone hurts themselves in an OTA?
Training camp, maybe?
Are they waiting to see if anybody really likes their wide receivers and they come call them because they get in a room and realize these guys aren't there?
Yeah,
I'll also say Tyreek Hill is an indictment on the rest. If they bring him in, it does say that their expectation a little bit for Rice and Worthy's a little bit less, doesn't it? At least a little bit. And it knocks Jalen Royals off of the market entirely.
Yeah, it just says they don't feel great after Rice and Worthy.
Yeah. It says more that probably than the other, but I also think it says a little bit about something of the guys at the top, at least on that end. We promised it, so we'll get it to you. It is time for a snitch line.
All right, 913-586-7965. Snitch line Thursday. If you have something you've been meaning to get off your chest, something you've seen around Kansas City, this is the time. We do it usually once a month or so. A Snitch line Thursday, 913-586-7965. All right, let's start with the one that was submitted earlier in the show after our trash of the day. This one says, I'm a school administrator in Southwest Missouri, and a coach was supposed to be an administrator for a baseball game, and the umpire wanted some fans removed. Could not find the game administrators, so he called the athletic director to come and help get them removed. He couldn't find them. He looked around. He was on campus to find the person or persons who were supposed to be at the game and found them in the gymnasium having a threesome with the other administrator and the school photographer on the gym floor where it was filmed. A prominent school in Southwest Missouri, but I can't tell you where. He was.
That is crazier
It says
than
he
the other
was the
story.
football coach.
That is
was being the highlighted word.
That is a crazier story than the trash of the day
That's
story.
not. I mean,
Wow, the trash of the day was,
the trash of the day was, but you're on the gym floor and you're filming it?
That is pretty crazy. From the God, that is nuts. From the 913, that sounds like a movie. I work for Amazon. People pee in bottles.
What kind of movie are
they
you
say,
talking about, Cody?
And leave them in vans.
that was a bad.
Reminds you of a
That's
movie.
a good point.
What kind of movie?
I was thinking just like it feels too far even for like the
My
even too
head went
fake
to
for
right where
the type of movie
the
you're
question
thinking.
that Gold just asked. Yes. What you talking about?
So you got to look at least a little different on that end.
Where else are you going? We got a
From
couple.
the 816, someone says I saw Alex driving 120 miles an hour in the new Mach-E. Have you been taking the car you got from the dealership for a little fun test drive?
So it
120 miles an hour?
Definitely not 100.
Easy, Rasheed.
Definitely
You
not.
have to do that to him. You could have said Nolan
honestly,
Smith. I don't know.
I might have
anybody.
let him off the hook had he not just gotten in trouble again for it.
Definitely not 120. I will say the Mach-E from Shine Mission Ford is a ton of fun to drive, though. It's kind of fun. It's a lot of fun whipping around town in that thing. It's definitely got some get up, no doubt about it. But not 120. Not going 120.
We got an update.
Not at all. Okay.
From the 913. Last year, I caught a coworker with his hand in his pants digging for gold and smelling his hands. He turned around to look and see if anyone saw him. Fast forward a year later, and he's still looking for treasure. Caught him doing it again. I need to confront him about this?
Yes.
It's disgusting.
What kind of workplace are you in? I hope he's washing his hands.
Please tell me you don't work at like a food establishment.
Yeah. We honestly probably don't need to know that. From the 913, someone said a couple weeks ago they accidentally sneezed on a baby and then just walked away and ignored it.
What do you mean? Where were you at? When you just randomly sneezed on a baby and walked away? Were
That's
you
what
at
they
a
said.
grocery store? Where were you? When you just sneezed on a baby
How
and
close
walked
were
away?
you to the baby? I guess would be the question.
Huh.
You know?
This is from the 816. Someone says, snitch line. Saw a guy in Diamond Club last night wearing a City Connect jacket.
Were you in Diamond Club last night wearing a City Connect jacket?
I was, yeah. It was a perfect night to wear it. It said, looked like he was trying to kiss the person that came with him. Okay.
Can you confirm or deny that report?
I can.
Could have been someone else in the Diamond Club.
I can confirm that didn't happen. Yeah.
For you?
Yeah.
Could have been someone else in the City Connect
I think
jersey.
I was the only one wearing the City Connect jacket in Diamond Club yesterday.
Someone says from the 816, saw my coworkers making out. They definitely saw that I saw them.
Oh.
They're both engaged, presumably not to each other. Should I use it as leverage? Dangerous game, man. Blackmailing people at work.
You want to blackmail your coworkers?
You want to live that life?
I don't think you want to. You better be squeaky clean.
Also,
you better not have any. You better have no skeletons yourself.
Coworkers, people the same level of you, not a good group to blackmail. Boss? Hey, you can get a promotion. Move on up in the world.
But I'm just saying,
people
Cody,
the same level as you. And what are you getting out of that?
You got to make sure you're squeaky clean, though. You better not have a single skeleton in your closet. Otherwise, it's going to backfire on you in a big way.
From the 816, does anybody else check their coworkers' Chrome history when they go to the bathroom or meeting?
No.
Damn. That's cold-blooded.
Wait, you go to their
Chrome history?
Crazy. Hold on. So they go to the restroom. You go to their cubicle or office, and you hop on their computer. You're going to get fired if you get caught. You're going to get fired.
That's insane.
Dangerous game. What were you going to say, Drew?
From the 515, we got some nasty people. This person is snitching on themselves. From the 515, I don't wash my hands after I go pee, but if other people are in the bathroom and can't see me, I run the water like I did washing.
I mean, if the water's already running, why not just wash them?
Wash your hands.
Why are you actively trying to go so much out of your way to not wash your hands? I guess that's the question. Why are you going out of your way so much to not wash your hands? You're already wasting time to fake it, so just stick your hands under the faucet.
It's already on. From at least put the water or something. From the 816, I have worked 32 hours this week. And they said, I have not done, they said, and I kid you not, I'll put it friendly, I have not done one thing. Screen time sitting at 18 hours of YouTube already. So they've been paid to do 32 hours a week. I will say that might be, we got lots of pros in our job. The one I will say is, we don't get to just like, it is like sometimes a job you're like, I'll work a little less hard today. No one's going to notice. This job, I still have to do the 20 hours of radio no matter what. Right. You got to take the day off to not do any work.
Right.
Can't just be like, I'll just kind of mail this weekend, which it sounds like this guy did. 32 hours? What's your job? Don't tell me your job. You might get in real trouble.
Someone else from the snitch line said Dusty went up to the swim-up bar while in Jamaica and did not get out of the pool to go to the bathroom.
No. Dusty.
Yeah.
Gotta get up, man. Everybody's using this water together.
Someone else says, I was joking about Gold and Diamond Club, but he definitely stuck out like a sore thumb with that jacket on.
It's a nice jacket.
The City Connect jacket is hot. It's a hot pink jacket. Yeah, it's definitely, you're not just sneaking by anybody in that thing.
No, you're gonna be seen.
Yeah, that is.
You're definitely
gonna
be seen.
Someone else said, self-snitch. For the last couple months, I've been giving out free pizza. One pizza each day, 3 times a week. Assume you work at a national pizza chain then, if you're giving out free pizza? Like you work at a Pizza Hut or something, or what? You give out one pizza each day.
Unannounced.
One pizza each day, 3 times a week. Like, to random customers, to your buddies? I need more context on this one. Where do you work?
So they're... yeah, that might change it. I used to give out free drinks when I worked at a bar. All the time, man. All the time. Especially if, like, Alex, you came in, I'm at the bar, and you're like, I'm just not going to bring that one in.
John Taffer's going to come after your ass. Bar rescue. You're going to keep track of the liquor.
Well, I'll tell you right now, John Taffer would have hated the way that bar ran. But I also kept my margins. I got a bonus if I kept my margins.
Okay.
So
imagine what kind of bonus you could have got if you weren't giving out free drinks.
No, I got to make the money for a
I thought
very
your bonus,
prominent name.
Your bonus, though.
Well, I got the bonus just as long as I made the margin. They didn't make me more per percentage. It was a flat rate. I made my margin. I got the bonus. I didn't. Also, the person who ran the bar wasn't hurting for cash. It is a prominent. The person who owned Webster House is a prominently named
I know who it is.
family in the Kansas City area.
Right.
They weren't hurting. The free drink I was giving out wasn't killing us. It's fine. It's crazy.
Was this the same person following up who said they didn't wash their hands?
Maybe.
Or is it different? This person
Someone
said,
says 816, I work from home. They said they stream the show all day. Still work, though.
Hey, shout out to you for watching the stream.
So it says, I'm glad I snitched. You guys have helped set me straight and see my stupid ways. Gonna wash hands from now on.
At the very least.
Wow. I'm glad we helped you.
I hope you wash your hands every time, but I'm just telling you right now, if you're doing the fake washing of the hands, if someone's in the bathroom, we'll just wash them time.
You're already there.
At least that time.
You're already there. At bare minimum, if for some odd reason you got some weird thing where you want to wash your hands, can you at least, do a little hand sanitizer on the hands at bare minimum, when you're done? If you're not going to do the normal hand washing, that would be nice.
Said they got basically caught smoking from the 913.
From by their wife?
Yes. Caught once and tried to deny it.
And how did that turn out for you? What happened?
I'll tell you right now.
I mean, it's a rough start.
It's not good to be in any kind of relationship where you got to hide normal activities.
Uh-huh.
I dated a girl for a little bit in high school, and I was she really didn't like sports, didn't care. So I was sneaking away, watching a World Series game one time. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? This relationship's
not going to work. It's not going to work.
I can't secretly watch a World Series game. If you like smoking weed, you better just find a person that's cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah. 913-586-7965.
If someone you were with was adamant against sports wagering, well, that person's not for you. They don't have to like doing it, but they can't hate that you do.
Yeah, they don't need to be a diehard sports fan. But if they're just I can't ever watch this, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's not good.
Someone else says, snitching on myself. I fell asleep during the Thunder game last night at halftime. Look, you were tired. You were tired.
We've all fallen asleep during a game before.
At least it was the Thunder. It wasn't like it was the 2014 wild card game or something. That's
2
one.
of the Western Conference Finals. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
You got plenty of games left to watch.
That person did say they work at a pretty famous pizza chain.
The one who's
they
giving
give
pizza
one
away?
pizza to friends and random hot women he talks to on Facebook. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
Do you think that's going to work?
Hold on.
In the long run?
Hold on. So
what's your success rate in giving out pizzas
Can
to
I
women?
Can I ask another follow-up to this? How old are you? You're talking to random women on Facebook.
I want to know. I do want to know what the hit rate is.
How old are you? And what do you?
Have you ever gotten a date?
Can you give me an example of the line you would use? I'm just. Are you already talking, or are you messaging them saying, "Hey, I work at the local Pizza Hut. Come on down, get you a free pizza." What are you saying?
Hey.
What are you saying? What are you doing?
Trying to pick people up.
You look attractive. Thought you might like
Hey,
a
I'll
pizza.
throw in some crazy bread as well if you play your cards right. What are you saying?
For the 816, going back to our trash story a little bit, I may have had sex in a local fast food restaurant with a person that worked there on her break today. Because quote, she just needed it. From the 816.
Her words are yours.
They were apparently influenced by the trash of the day today, Gold. You are impacting
Trash of the day
people
does
with
have
that
a
story.
spicy vibe today.
A local fast food restaurant.
Somebody was claiming they walk into hotels to get the free continental breakfast.
Okay. All right.
I think that's like an internal thought that I've never.
Honestly, I don't like continental breakfast. It's not quality enough to not just
Someone
eat
says
at home.
Facebook date Gold. If you aren't using, you're falling behind on all the. Can I say that? Can I say that? Can I say that word?
Get off the apps and get onto that. Or I guess
Am I
get
allowed
onto
to say
those
that?
apps.
Is the age range of people Alex is looking to date, are they on Facebook date?
I don't think so, but also I don't think I can say that word.
I don't know where the text is. I have no idea.
The one that says
I would say-
Facebook dating.
I couldn't do it. I'm just gonna have to
I would
something ever
s-
happened.
No,
in my marriage, I'm out. I'm just never gonna date again.
I really hate to say this in comparison to this, but
Nope.
did we play that Diana Orsina audio? Did we play the Diana
Oh,
Orsini
where
audio?
she
Where
did say
I
say
believe-
she's a.
She said she didn't want to be introduced as a reporter anymore.
Yeah.
Or insider. She wanted to be introduced.
I guess we
as
can
this
say
phrase.
can say the phrase.
I don't know.
I don't know if you want to rate. This is an above board show.
I would say
I
no.
think you guys can pick up what we're hinting at from the text line. Yeah. What? Someone says they had sex with their now wife in a Kohl's when she was married to her ex.
How long have you guys been married? I mean, is it
Kohl's? You guys were that desperate to grab some Kohl's cash? You had to go to the Kohl's?
No. See, I go back to this. Again, I
doesn't
know
feel
my
like the right kind of store.
I know.
Wait, hold on. Whoa. What do you mean it's not the right
If I'm
kind of
having
store?
sex in public, it's not going to be at a Kohl's.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
What kind of store is it going to be?
There's no food establishments because I think that's rude. People got to eat.
What does it mean, a higher end? You got to go to Von Mar? What do you need to be? What do you need to be? It's not Kohl's. It's got to be Von Mar. Where do you got to go?
I don't know if it's got to be like
you're going to the outlets to Banana Republic or something like that. Like, come on now.
Banana Republic does feel better than
this is why, like I
Kohl's for
said,
that.
you have to know your boundaries and your situation. You just don't.
Probably also got to know the dressing room situation.
You just had in that moment. You just had to take care of it. I had to happen to be at a Kohl's. You had to. Cody, to answer your question about the Facebook date thing, 30 to 45-year-old women
is what they say,
according to the 816.
Okay. Look, I didn't know. I was.
So that falls into Gold's range.
The
then.
dating apps did not
46
exist. Well, the first half of it's in your range, 30 to 37.
Yes.
I guess so.
You know, that's what you said the limits were set at.
Top 10.
That's a great
text line is great. Can I say? I can read that.
Yeah. You can
for the 816 says, my boy was after some Kohl's ass, not Kohl's cash. That is a Stitch Line Thursday here on Cody and Gold. Up next, we'll get to what's trending and talk more about the Royals, who are, I guess, fortunately off today.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
This deer season, John Deere wants to give you the home field advantage. We're bringing you the best offers of the season, whether that's cash off on select new machines or a shot at the ultimate Major League Baseball prize package. Because right now, you can enter for a chance to win an MLB All-Star experience for you and 3 friends, complete with travel and lodging for All-Star Week this July. Deer season is going on now through June 3rd. Visit johndeere.com/deer season to enter and view the offers and complete contest rules. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Jeff Briggs with Victory CDJ Art the Legends. Once again, we are taking the hassle out of car buying with the Victory Scavenger Hunt. Folks, as always, our hunts are different. We put the price right at your fingertips with our Let's Do Business guarantee. Like walking up to select Ram 1500s, subtracting $18,000 from the sticker, and let's do business. It's that simple. Just visit VictoryMotorsKC.com and click on the large Scavenger Hunt banners directly on our homepage. That's VictoryMotorsKC.com, where our first price is better than their last.
FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From spreads to player points to threes and more, build it all into a same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, be sure to bet them on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips. You can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one single app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/local to bet your same-game parlays. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Hi, folks. Bob from Blue Springs Ford. Hey, Blaine, my sister Kathy wants to buy a Bronco at an employee price.
What perfect timing, because right now Blue Springs Ford is giving employee pricing to everyone.
So what's the real difference in pricing?
2025 Bronco Sport starting at $29,000.
Wow, that's less than $30,000.
Up to $10,000 off MSRP on 2026 F-150s, and you get a lifetime powertrain warranty for free.
Folks, go to bluespringsford.com right now, because this ends soon.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. Text line has stayed interesting.
I mean, some of these are, some of them I'm very confused on. Somebody said, quote, they had to have sex in a dressing room at a TJ Maxx last week. You didn't have to. You had to.
I'm still offended.
Come on, man.
Had to.
Someone said that I seem like a person to have sex at a Marshall's, a Gap, a PetSmart, and a Burlington Coat Factory. What the hell are those the for? What a spread.
Oh, man.
Do you shop at those places?
Number one on what's trending. The Royals are off today. Maybe it's a good thing, honestly. They're now 10 games.
It's been a rough go.
Under
man.
500. They're 20-30. They're off today. Noah Cameron on the bump tomorrow night. The Mariners coming to town and see if they can't turn the tide in a massive, massive way, as this is the low watermark of the season. Also 8.5 games back for those of you that are keeping an eye on standings.
Next up on what's trending, NBA action last night. Thunder got game 2 against the Spurs. It was a close game in the fourth quarter. Eventually, the Thunder pulled away, hit a couple of late threes. Wemby didn't play his best there in the closing part of the stretch. SGA did, who dropped 30 in the game last night. So they get game 2. Game 3 will be coming up on Friday night. Knicks-Cavs tonight. Game 2. Obviously, the Knicks up 1-0 after their overtime come-from-behind victory just 2 days ago.
News involving a Philadelphia Eagle. Nolan Smith was around if the NFL will do anything, but Nolan Smith, former Georgia Bulldog, having issues with speeding.
Yeah, one of 50, I think.
Yeah.
They had trouble with speeding at some point down the road, or at least it seems that way. Next up on What's Trending, Joey Chestnut will be able to defend his hot dog championship while on probation. Okay. Yesterday, he pled guilty to minor assault. It wasn't anything major. I think it was like he slapped a guy at a bar. I don't want to make it, minimize it in any way, but slapped a guy at a bar, says he doesn't remember it, looked like he was a little bit drunk on that end, and then eventually did that. So we'll see which way it goes, but he's at least available to defend it while on probation. He's been given permission to leave the state.
Getting slapped at a bar and then not knowing, and if you're Chestnut, not knowing what happened. He said he thought it was a joke. I read the article. He said he thought he was joking.
He said it was in a silly way. I mean, we've got enough friends at this point. You've probably
But you jokingly slapped a stranger?
He said he shook his hand and then he slapped him in the face. Now, I will say, I don't know what. How hard was the slap, I guess would be the question before you, took it straight to the police. But maybe thought there was some money in it. I don't know.
Some really important NFLPA news today. Thank you, Adam Schefter, for sending this tweet out a few minutes ago. The NFLPA reached an agreement with Jams to become the exclusive peanut butter and jelly sandwich of the Players Association. Yeah, really important stuff today. J.J. Watt and Kayla Williams are part of the ownership group. The player-led partnership will make the peanut butter and jellies available league-wide this season.
Oh, you know what? Travis Kelce's openly said that he hammers a bunch of Uncrustables on game
These aren't Uncrustables, though.
So he's going to have to decide if the new brand's up.
I'm Team Uncrustable. Those things are great. I love them. Phenomenal. And yes, the team playing for the Royals and Chiefs and all, they all have them all over them. Yep. Uncrustables,
I've still never had
snack.
an Uncrustable before.
They're actually pretty damn good.
They're fine. There's no, it's kind of hard to go wrong.
I'd crush one right now.
Just peanut butter and jelly and bread. Drew. It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah. I think I know. I think I know.
The key is though, they come frozen, but you gotta thaw them out. Otherwise, you're biting into like a brick of
Don't
peanut
they also
butter.
have more than just the regular purple jelly? They've got other ones too.
Yeah. There's a couple flavors. I think they taste pretty good. It's been a while actually since I had one. There was this stretch where I was eating them multiple a week, but I haven't actually had an Uncrustable in about 8 months.
That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Don't forget the Cody and Gold Garage Sale Wednesday, June 10th, right here on Cody and Gold. We're going to get other people involved. We'll start giving you a preview of some of the items available. A listener today dropped off some hand-painted logos of every single NFL team in a way in which you could organize it by division or team. It would hang up on a wall. You could change it. Might be great for a kid's room, or Drew is determined to bid on it and win it gold. So be warned. You'll be bidding against Drew Nixon.
How cool is this story, though? We didn't mention, I just saw this come across. So the Lions signed Jack Campbell, their linebacker, to a contract extension, all right? And they had a fan break the news to everybody. So so there was a Twitter account randomly that said, breaking news on a contract extension for Jack Campbell. I just heard directly from my inside source of the Lions, who will be a Lion for the next several years. Congrats to Jack and his family. So just a fan. The backstory from Pete Schrager is that this fan is a diehard Lions fan, vocal online. When Jack Campbell decided to sign his extension, he and the team thought it would be unique to let the fans know first. So with Jack Campbell's approval, the Lions allowed this fan to break the news.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Wouldn't it be weird?
They just go to random Chiefs fan on Twitter. Hey, we know you're a diehard. We cleared it with, Patrick Mahomes on this recent extension. He said you can break the news. So instead of Adam Schefter tweeting it out, random Lions fan tweeted out that so-and-so.
Count has got to just skyrocket after that, right? You would think?
He has 8,000 followers. I don't know what he had before. Or she. I'm sorry, she. I apologize. She had before.
That'd be really interesting just to see like how much of a difference it would take. Like all of a sudden you've got an influx of millions of people, like hundreds of thousands of views on your one tweet.
Yeah, but that's also like, it's got to be a unique circumstance. Like we joked about on the show. Remember, Vinny said he would tell me when he signed a new contract, but that I wasn't allowed to tell anybody. And so when he had gotten a couple of his arbitration years bought out, he had told me, but I didn't say it because that was the on-running joke. I don't know that a player needs to tell fan, but it's a fun way to do it.
It's cool. It's different.
Yeah, it's
why
fine.
not?
But also, like, you could also break that news yourself, and I think it'd be fine. I've signed an extension.
Yeah, but
I'm surprised more players don't do that themselves. Break the news themselves.
Yeah.
That they've done it. But doing it with a fan, that's fun.
It's
Why
cool,
not?
yeah.
You're Jack Campbell. You get the luxury of signing the new contract, so you're happy with it either.
I'm laughing at the text line, going back to the PB&J conversation, because I didn't catch it. Someone said, did Drew just say purple jelly? And somebody, I think
grape jelly.
I think you said purple.
It's not Gatorade.
No, I definitely did say
purple jelly.
I definitely said
and
purple.
Then, what's your favorite flavor? Red? Like, huh? But
of jam, it's apricot.
Then someone else said, I love how Cody's trying to explain to Drew what a PB&J is. Come on,
just
man.
trying to describe what an Uncrustable was.
I know what the Uncrustable is. I just have never had one before.
All right.
Apparently I didn't. The purple jelly, I didn't know it was grape jelly, apparently.
What did you think it was? What else is flavored purple and goes peanut butter?
I said purple, but I meant, I didn't think of grape. I didn't think of the jam or whatever it is.
Plum jam, I'm not going.
Sure.
Someone said, put the Uncrustable in the toaster. You're welcome. So like a fried or a toasted
that warm it up.
Uncrustable.
But they say specifically not to microwave them.
Yeah. So it becomes
part hot, part cold, and they don't want
I feel like I'm going to do this and
jelly.
ruin a toaster or something. It's just going to make a mess and I'm to throw it out.
Yeah, I don't trust the seal on those well enough. I don't know. You could probably put it in a toaster oven and be okay.
Air fry the Uncrustable? Would that work?
Yeah, but I would probably still let it be a little thawed before you did it.
Okay.
That's my
Good
best
to know.
guess. Let's talk about the Royals.
Let's do
I
it.
kind of thought, genuinely, there was like a 50-50 chance that something would happen on the Royals today. They are.
Yeah, you really did. You thought
I thought
they
it was
were going to move on
50-50.
for somebody.
I didn't think it was for sure, but I thought it was a 50-50 chance. They're 20-30. They are falling not just short of expectations, way short of expectations and what they had going into this season. So I thought there was a chance on an off day where they don't have to answer a media question, where they could have a day to breathe, where, they gave Vinny the day off yesterday. They're trying to just like reset. I think that they viewed today and the end of yesterday is like, let's just reset. Let's just start over, feel better, move the needle. I thought they might do something today. Now, the curse of Hooli continues, at least up to this stage. I don't think it would have been a bad thing, even if it makes you look bad, to do something. Because right now, what is your message to fans? We're not going to change anything. We're awesome. We rule. We'll solve this problem internally. You got to make up a 10-game difference just to be 500. And while I still think the division will be won with 87 wins, like you got to be 10 games just to get to even. You got to win 10 games in a row. Like it just, and even though the AL is not difficult, and you're probably, I'm sure, I'm not going to look, 5 games out of a playoff spot. That doesn't mean anything. You're 10 games under 500. They're lost. And I don't know how to tell them how to get out of it because it seems like a team that's saying the right things. Bobby's saying the right thing. Vinny's saying the right thing. It's still hard to know how do you crawl yourself out of this hole. And I don't see a clear pathway, especially because now they're hurt in addition to it.
They're hurt. It's, they'll be a third of the way through the season in a week or so. I mean, Memorial Day weekend is Monday. I mean, we talk all the time about like these benchmarks of when is it early, when it's not early. June 1st is right around the corner. And this team is gotten worse from a record standpoint. They haven't gained ground over the last couple weeks. We talked about, hey, can you inch your way back to 500? They've done the opposite. They've gone backwards, 20 and 30. And unfortunately, with the Mariners coming to town, the Yankees coming to town, I think they
owned them for 5 years.
I don't think being 10 games under 500 is as bad as it's going to get. That's the problem. And so how ugly is the rest of the season going to get? Where are we at on that? Because they are pacing for 66 wins, is that right?
Yeah.
And this is a team that had expectations to win the AL Central. Now, I don't think they're only going to finish with 66, but still, how ugly is it going to get? Is this the pace they're going to be on? Or are they going to play better and they finish with 73 wins and it's still an absolutely unacceptable, disappointing year?
I think I don't know. I mean, they might lose 100. I don't want to say for sure. They're stuck in a weird spot where they didn't go middle ground. They went from, Jared Kohler's pointed out, it's fair enough. Like, they went from Mike Matheny, who is like meathead, doesn't care about numbers, right? And everybody's like, doesn't even like, has he ever seen an analytic? And we had to like defend the fact that like, I use them. And now we're at the opposite end where we got Q, who's like, I don't always use the numbers. The problem with, and you and I have discussed this before, the problem with numbers is you can make them say whatever you want. You can find lots of different ways to find a number that to either support or not support your currently made hypothesis. A lot of this is they got to get out of this rut. And I would say the biggest complaint I'd have about the managerial style, and I'm not asking for Q to be fired today. I guess I'll make that clear. I'm not calling for him to be canned. But my biggest complaint so far is I think a big part of a manager's job is not always making a lineup or a bullpen decision. I think those matter. They play a factor, but you got every piece of information available. Those decisions are made borderline before you even step onto a baseball diamond a lot of times. I think it is keeping people believing that you can win. Your job is to manage personalities in a clubhouse, manage the mood, make sure everyone still believes. And the amount of losing streaks they've had over the last 2 years makes me think is you don't know how to get out of a rut. They've had 2 6-game losing streaks, only team in baseball. They've lost 10 series. They've been swept 4 times. Q, more than anything right now, the area of improvement I want most from him is how do you stop bleeding? How do you find any way to win a game? Do anything. Get a lineup, figure out the right. How do you unlock a series of moves that stops you from losing a bunch of games in a row is all I'm asking for. Because if they had done that goal, maybe they're 4 games under 500, not 10. You know, if you just found a way to like occasionally stop something from getting worse.
They had a 1-5 road trip, and they've lost the first 3 of the homestand. I mean, this is not. There's been no switch flipped or anything like that. They won that. They salvaged the 1 game in St. Louis, and that was it. That didn't carry over to anything else. Heck, last night Michael Walker was awesome again, but the offense, it was carried by a bunch of vets that are not really part of your core group or long term. I mean, it was Diaz and Starling Marte.
Yeah,
offensively for you. Last night, that was your offense.
And if you get offense,
I guess Bobby had a double, but
in fairness, if you get offense from them, Salvi had a couple hits too. But if you get offense,
Salvi had the home run in the first,
yeah.
So that again, Salvi, Diaz, and Marte.
But if you get hits from Diaz and Marte, you get runs from them, then you got to win the game. So you tell me you got Diaz and Marte to contribute.
Yeah, but they got nothing out of Garcia.
You got to start from Waka, and you didn't get a win. Ugh. That's just
Waka's done everything possible to give them a chance to win. I think I was listening to Vern driving back last night. I was at the game, and I was listening to him, and I think I jotted it down. Yeah, he made this stat was interesting to me. He said the Royals are 14-11 when they get a quality start from their starting staff.
Okay.
No, that's not okay. That's not 14-11 when they get a quality start from their staff. That's not at all good. Since you're like, yes, it's 3 games above 500, but no. 14-11. Vern pointed out last night as I was driving back, he said the Dodgers are 19-9. Now, I don't need the Royals to be the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are 19-9 when they get a quality start. The Royals are 14-11.
Can you be 17-9? Can you be 16-8? Can you? But that's the thing. They have not been a good team at stealing wins. That's been a challenge for them this year. In moments in which it's like, ooh, you could get one. They got like 1 or 2 of the stolen wins, but there were 8 or 10 out there. Last night was another. Anybody could win. Red Sox, you're down 1 run after you give up the homer because they steal the lead back from you. They drop a pop-up. They give you a free base runner. Out. Nobody moves. You know, like it's 2 days ago. You had runners on the corners. Nobody out. Run into an out. Get an out. Don't score. Or you get 1 when the bases are loaded or nobody out instead of 2 or 3. They have not done the little things particularly well a huge chunk of the year. And yeah, I'm hoping that a day off resets everybody's brain and they can just, spend time with their family, hang out, do whatever. I don't care.
Whatever you need to do.
I think I saw Caglione posting, if you find a card out of the break that he signed that said, happy birthday to his dad, let him know. Do whatever you want. Whatever relaxes you, honestly. Get out of your
it's their off day. They can do whatever they want on their off day.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I want them to, get away from it for a day.
Yeah.
And then come back feeling refreshed tomorrow. Vinny, right? He got the day off yesterday. He didn't have to play last night. And I know he wants to play, but didn't play last night. Off today. Just use this. Use May 21st as your reset for the rest of the season and kick ass from here on out. Try to find a way to make this salvageable in the sense that, at least the team looks competitive.
What's tough is, Noah Cameron has struggled this year, and he's on the mound Friday night, and they still are dealing with the injuries in this bullpen.
Coming off an okay-ish start the last time, right? He wasn't as bad as he was in the previous ones. He was okay in his last. They still lost it. It didn't matter, but you're right. Right now, the bullpen, I don't think there's genuinely, I don't think the greatest manager on the planet could choose the right number of
high
pitchers
leverage
in order to get it right. They're missing too many guys.
Yeah, you're asking high leverage situations for 3 innings or 4 in some cases. And last night it was Steven Cruz gives up the home run. Alex Lang comes in. He actually was all right. He got in trouble but got out of it. And then Daniel Lynch has been decent, but Ursig did not pitch last night. They ended up not using him. But it was Steven Cruz who gave up the home run that cost them the game ultimately.
You're asking too many guys to have a good night, or you could just score. Had you scored 2 runs at the same time they did, fine. The bullpen doesn't have to be perfect, and you can still win. You can still win the game, even if the bullpen gives up a run, but you have to score late. They didn't do any pinch hitting. They didn't do any mess around. They left Cags in against every lefty the last couple of nights.
They pinch hit Lane Thomas.
They did. Lane Thomas for Isbell late.
And then I think he popped it up right away.
He did. Although Lane Thomas historically is very good against lefties. Yeah. So I was
and
fine.
They had a couple pinch runners. Salvi, I think Jensen came in a pinch run for Salvi or Diaz, one of the two. Diaz, I guess, would have been.
Was it Diaz?
Diaz, yeah.
Okay.
Massey came in a pinch run for Salvi late.
Yeah, there were some pinch runners and stuff.
They moved stuff around late.
But they just, they're still just, they never have a night where all 3 things work right now. Last night, the starting pitching was enough. Maybe the offense was close to enough. Maybe not, because they only got 3. But they got some runs in some other spots. But then the bullpen didn't have their night. A couple nights ago, the bullpen didn't have their night too. But the 2 nights before, there was the starting pitching, the offense score. But, it's hard. They've not played good baseball at any stage of the season. And what we thought was the depth when they got 9 games below 500, crawled all the way back. We're playing a game like 10 days ago at Kauffman Stadium for a chance to be in the lead of the AL Central. Since then, they're 8.5 games back of the Guardians for first. Have the Tigers done anything? Because that's a good indicator, too. Tigers had the same expectations the Royals did.
No.
They have the same, they're in an equally bad spot. They fire anybody or,
Nope.
I'm just curious. We know the Red Sox did it. We know that the Phillies did it. And for the most part, it's bearing some fruit, although the Red Sox weren't good until they faced the Royals, for what it's worth.
They had the same record with the Royals going into the series.
But the Tigers are 20-32, man. They stink, too. What
they
the
are
hell
also
happened
8.5 games back in the division.
Yeah.
The Guardians suddenly are 7 above 500.
Yeah.
The Guardians always find a way. They really do.
They don't slump for long. But all you had to do is be 500. You'd be a few games back, and you can get those games later.
There's only one.
Instead, they didn't.
I guess the Astros and Tigers are tied with you. Otherwise, basically, it's like there's one team with a worse record in the American League than you, and that's the Angels.
That's where I was saying Joe Adele.
17-33 Angels. Jeez.
Someone says a 24-hour reset's probably going to do that. Probably not.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I'm just talking in hope, in terms of hope, not expectation. I'm saying I hope it does those things.
That's what I said. Unfortunately, I don't think 20-30 will be their worst record they have all year.
You don't think they're losing 100, do you?
I don't. No, they're not. I don't think they lose 100.
But at this point, you probably think they're losing 90.
Yeah, I think that's very much in play.
They're on pace for 64 wins. Yeah. They're going to play 8 games above that just to get to 72 and 90. So they'd have to be 9 games better than that just to finish above 500. And this is the part. We did this math when, they weren't as bad. But, if you have some hope of they're the 5.4% of teams who've been in their spot and made the playoffs in Major League Baseball history. Do you realize what they'd have to finish to get to 88 wins? Dear God. At this point, let's say it was 87 wins to get it. They'd have to win 67 more games of the what's left. They played exactly 50?
Yep, 20 and 30.
So they have to go 67 and 45? And maybe it's not 87 to get to the playoffs, but it's something like that. It's not fun, man. It's been an uncomfortable one. Sure nice if the team would just get all on the same page at the same time and lock this thing up.
So no Royals game tonight. You want you to be locked into the what do you guys watch? Eastern Conference game 2 tonight. See if the Knicks carry the momentum from the overtime win into it against the Cavs.
I'll watch some NBA tonight.
I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it'll look like just yet, but I'll definitely I'll be locked in for that. Why wouldn't I be? There's no other sports. Not taking the kids anywhere.
Hockey, right? In their hockey.
I took my kid to the community center yesterday, so I'm off the hook for that. He doesn't usually have to go every day.
Yeah, tonight we got Canadians and Hurricanes in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
That's game 1, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Avs lost game 1 last night in their series.
Yeah. So I'll keep an eye on that. Be at Top Golf tonight. There's some event going on, so I'll be at Top Golf. It's going to be a little chilly out there, but they got
you use that perfect club so you hit it straight.
Oh
again?
yeah, hell yeah! And it makes me feel good on that because that club anybody can look good swinging that thing. Yeah.
What's it called? I don't remember.
It is called the something perfect.
Some club where Alex can hit it straight every time. Drew.
Yeah.
Honestly, part of me thinks because it's just for fun anyway.
The Sure Thing Club is what they call it. Yeah.
Part of me thinks because it's for fun anyway. Why don't I just put a club like that in my bag? What's the difference? It's not like Drew. If we're not playing for money.
Yeah. If you're just playing with your buddies.
If I'm not playing in a league.
Yeah.
If it's just you and I go out on a Sunday and I just want to enjoy my weekend.
It basically is just the loft is what it is. It's 20 degrees loft is why.
Holy smokes.
That's what it is.
Must not go very far.
It's 20 degrees. No, it does.
20 degrees loft. That's way illegal. What's the maximum loft you can have on a club?
Oh, I mean
60? Or not 60, sorry. What's the lowest? What's the lowest degree you can have? Highest versus lowest, do we know?
The lowest driver I've ever seen is 8.5.
Okay.
But I don't know if there's a
This is an iron, though,
I don't know if
isn't
there's
No, it's a driver.
Oh, okay.
A 20-degree driver is kind of nuts. You're if I had to guess, I don't know the loft degrees.
It doesn't conform to the rules of golf. So that's why they're using it.
20 degrees might be a 5.
I'm just trying to look. Who cares? The point is, it's fun, and why not?
Yeah.
Based on this,
I will use it tonight if that's what you're asking, yes.
I'm curious because I wanted to look. A 20-degree loft club is basically a 5-iron. So you're hitting a driver, but it's essentially the same degree of loft as a 5-iron is.
So he's probably not going to miss it as much with the face of that.
That's why it usually is good. Yeah, it's just easy. You don't have to be as controlled with your swing or anything.
Well, have